course, with President Trump. And a lot of the computer bots that said Trump was actually going to win are saying the same thing about Roy Moore, that the Democrats and pollsters are targeting certain groups that they know either politically won't say how they're really going to vote because they want a virtue signal and claim they're anti-Moore, or they were already Democrat voters that are being targeted. We're going to walk through all of this. But now they're saying Roy Moore is an anti-Semite for saying he's not an anti-Semite. And then they said, we have friends that are Jewish. We have lawyers that are Jewish. They went, oh, my gosh, it's you know, the liberal tokenism. You said the word Jew. That's anti-Semitic. This is how the left and the political correct operatives destroy society. And it's amazing. So no evidence of the things they say against Moore. A lot of the evidence has been proven to be fake. The so-called evidence has been proven to be fake. No real evidence. The evidence they put forward has all been fake, all been lies, or have all been women who are daughters of women that Roy Moore took away from them. I mean, imagine. He's a lawyer in cases in a custody battle where he beats the mom and the daughter goes to the dad, and then the daughter, all these years later, when she'd been in his office all of 10 minutes, says this happened to her in his law office. I mean, this is incredible. It's why people don't listen to ex-husbands that make stuff up or ex-wives. People know like half the time, statistically, depending on the state, it's a lie. It's a lie. Routinely in divorce cases, people claim they've been raped or abused when they haven't been. Routinely, it happens in business. Routinely, almost all of the cross burnings and church burnings and swastikas on the wall and poop swastikas and you know, the Air Force Cadet Center and the Navy just this year. I don't say almost all. This year, there hasn't been one real white hate crime against a minority that's been documented that wasn't fake. But boy, there have been plenty of hate crimes against white people. And it doesn't matter, ladies and gentlemen, because the leftist judges and the leftist media and the leftist system time and time again say, you go free. You're an illegal alien, been deported, what, 5 times? Shoot a woman in the back in cold blood, she dies in her father's arms. The leftists in San Francisco say, you go free. It's funny, the mayor of San Francisco collapsed dead last night in a Safeway food store. So sad to hear that. But at least it was natural causes. He wasn't shot in the back. But if a white guy had shot the first Asian mayor in the back, you know it'd be a hate crime. But if it had been another minority, would it have been a hate crime? Would I mean, again, that's how crazy all of this has gotten, where the left said, oh, we're going to let go these 6 black folks. One of them, an adult, 19 years of age, that kidnapped a mentally retarded teenager who had the mind of a 4-year-old, took him, cut part of his scalp off, told him we're going to kill you for hours, and shot the whole thing live on the internet, on Live Leak. And the judge said, you know what, I'm letting you go. I'm virtue signaling. It's not going to help to put you in prison for kidnapping and torturing somebody. I'm just going to let you go on probation. So again, that's the type of stuff we're dealing with here. It's incredible. But coming up, Alabama draws near, ladies and gentlemen, the day of reckoning, the day of doom. And a lot of people say this is a bellwether on whether the Me Too movement can take down Trump on what happens today in Alabama. I'm not so sure that's the case, but certainly it is a big deal on so many fronts. They need that vote as well in the Senate to be able to get a successful impeachment against the president that they admit they're pushing for. But even bigger news is breaking. Former head of the CIA admits they made up the Russiagate stuff. They leaked political stuff. They shouldn't have done it. They were wrong. The whole Russiagate thing is imploded now. So now they're moving on to the sexual harassment garbage yet again. So here we are, Judgment Day in Alabama, the big contested special election. The lynch mob, globalist media, their disinfo, their fake yearbook signatures, all their propaganda, all their unfounded accusations, media hysteria up against the reality. Now it's up to the voters of Alabama. Are we going to see massive election fraud? Certainly, from the establishment. We always do. Are we going to see them hyping all these fake polls that Moore is going to lose to make people get on a bandwagon and believe that they want to vote for the winner? We're going to find out. And I'm going to be here with Owen Schroyer for the next 4 hours. And then Owen, Rob Dew, Michael Zimmerman and others are coming back for the War Room with Roger Stone, and then I'm coming back in tonight, 6 o'clock Central. We're going to do several hours of live internet, radio / TV. This broadcast is on hundreds of affiliates and, of course, some cable and TV stations. But we're going to have a special transmission at INFOWARS.com/show that kicks off at 6 o'clock tonight. Stations are welcome to carry it. But again, audio and video feeds at INFOWARS.com/show. We'll be taking your phone calls and have some special guests in studio coming up at 6 o'clock Central tonight. And within a few hours of that, we'll know pretty much if there's been hanky-panky or any cheating or who the winner is. But we'll be here at our big War Room Center live tonight after 6 o'clock. We'll be live up until 6 as well with the War Room. That's also syndicated radio / television with Owen Schroyer. Again, there is so much to get to here today. We're going to break down the whole Roy Moore situation here in a moment. But as I told you 3 months ago, this is a shake and bake operation. It's completely formulaic. They knew that women in focus groups went against Hillary because they knew Bill Clinton was a rapist. And because of you getting the word out about that, and because of the women having the courage to come forward, women that Clinton had even done cash agreements with and payouts with, women who'd been assaulted, women who'd been threatened, women who'd been raped. And we have a huge history of that going back decades and decades and decades. With Trump, it's some new allegation. With Roy Moore, it's a new allegation, never with any bona fides. That's, I guess, the Latin for the bones, the actual guts of the situation. Show us the corpse, habeas corpus. Show us the bones, show us the corpse, show us the body, show us the facts, show us the photos, show us the video. Well, we got that with Al Franken. And then his jokes over the years about grabbing on women and doing it. And then you've got him doing it. And then a bunch of credible women come forward. And they blame Roger Stone for breaking it here, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 hours before everybody else. But Al Franken, he got it from Fox News. He called me that afternoon and said, you want to go with this? He called me the day before. And he said, the word is this is coming out soon. And the night before, he said, you want to go with it? And I said, I'm just going to let them go with it. And then, boom, he went ahead and tweeted it out. They banned him on Twitter for that, for being accurate. And Rob Dew tweeted it out as well. They're now claiming that we're behind the Al Franken lady. We couldn't even get her on the air, that Fox host, radio host out of L.A. We were trying to get her on. But we're supposedly behind it, even though we've never even talked to her. We just got it from our Fox News sources. So we've got all that happening. But here's what we've been breaking down. They are manufacturing this whole thing to make it look like, okay, we got rid of some of our bad people, and so now you've got to get rid of your bad people. Well, the Democrats get rid of their own people on allegations. That's their issue. But again, they already knew where the bodies were buried with the NBC host and Matt Lauer and all these people. It had been going on for decades. Decades with Al Franken, decades with Harvey Weinstein, decades with Kevin Spacey, decades with all of them. They'd covered them up. Congress had a secret slush fund. And that's really the big issue here that we should all be focused on, that they're trying to hide in plain view, okay? The big elephant in the room. Secret slush funds, hundreds of millions, it's now coming out over decades. Almost all of it Democrats paying this garbage out. A lot of it women assaulted, boys assaulted, men assaulted. Serious stuff in the Capitol, in the House, in the Senate. Payoffs by, 14 Democrat mayors that have now had to resign or been arrested for pedophilia. It's 14 now after the last Seattle mayor, when more than 10 men and boys came forward saying he raped me. Just like the deputy pope trafficked in over 100 boys, trafficked them in the Catholic Church for blackmail, some as young as 6 years of age. That stuff's now confirmed, okay? So they've got a big problem. This is all coming out. They tried to just ignore it. They tried to go after Trump with their made-up stuff, which only made people go, wait a minute, you've got the big history of it. People, especially women, saw through the hypocrisy, so they went, okay, we've got to go ahead and burn our own people. We can't hide it anymore. It's cost us billions of dollars in payouts total, hundreds of millions in Congress. Weinstein's payouts were over 50 million secretly, not to mention all the intelligence agencies and PIs and former Mossad and all these different people that they hired, ladies and gentlemen. Think about that. So now they went, okay, let's just flush low-hanging fruit. Let's go ahead and do it. Plus the Clintons won't leave the party. They're hurting the party. And Conyers won't get out and all these other senile people. Let's go ahead and burn them. Build a wave that we're good people, that we mean well, and that if Trump won't step down, well, then see his party's bad, and we need to go for impeachment. And then they have Megyn Kelly with these women that say that he asked them out or tried to give them their number, or one had been rude to him on an airplane, so he called her the C word. In one case, 30 years ago, another woman says, it's like 11, 12 years ago, he asked for her phone number. And I'm sorry, she's not Trump's type. I do not think these women are attractive. Trump is a complete perfectionist when it comes to women. And it's just none of it fits. And then we have tapes coming out, and I've known about this for months, that they're holding on to as thermonuclear, where they've recorded people offering women money that have worked in the Trump organization, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they're just waiting till they roll it out, and then they're going to destroy them with it. And I've been asked to keep my mouth shut about that. Bill O'Reilly released the information yesterday on Glenn Beck. We're going to play a clip of that when we come back in the next segment, because this is a big, big deal. But again, you can see the buildup. Get rid of your own problems. Have a facelift, create this wave, this effect that, okay, under mere allegations, you've got to step down. No, they all stepped down because they were real perpetrators in every case. But create that perception that just asking a woman out, that's what Megyn Kelly had guest on. Asking people out is like rape now. Whistling or saying hi to a woman in London, they want to arrest you now. 7 other cities have passed that. So they're equating that with raping a woman or raping a child or raping a man. And so they're building it up, and then they had a U.S. senator, the female senator. She comes out and she says, oh, we need to have impeachment hearings. We need to have special hearings. And then CNN calls for it, and MSNBC, and all of them. We need a new special counsel into Donald Trump and his sexual behavior with no evidence, no proof. So they're segueing out of the collapsing Russia narrative that I, again, signaled last week. I said it's over. They're panicking. They committed crimes spying on Trump. There's nothing there. They've been caught lying about the spying. They've been up to their eyeballs with the Russians. The Mueller thing, the wheels are off. The deep state realizes they're losing. They realize they probably can't beat Trump. They're backing off. Former head of the CIA admits role in deep state intelligence war on Trump. Former deputy director, then acting director, CIA's Michael Morale has come out on CBS this morning and said, we shouldn't have used spy stuff in an election. We shouldn't have targeted a president. We shouldn't have leaked after he was president. We're sorry. It was illegal. We shouldn't have done it. That is, Mr. President, please don't have me arrested. I mean, they have committed big crimes, and Trump was as clean as a whistle. Trump is a complete, quite frankly, Trump's probably OCD, but in a good way. He's OCD, folks. He's a clean freak. He follows all the rules, all the regulations. He's all about winning. He's not going to go in a room and let hookers urinate on him in Russia. He's not into that. A, B, he knows the Russians are videoing it. That's ridiculous. Donald Trump never does anything to get in trouble up until now. And then they all just make it up. So the whole thing's imploding. So now they're saying Donald Trump's hashtag #MeToo moment is here. Dun, dun, dun. We need hearings. We need everything. Because, again, the whole Russia thing just imploded and went into the dirt. And now the next shoe to drop, I'll break it down on the other side. I'll tell you the secret straight ahead. By the way, we are seeing amazing, positive things happen, not just here, but around the world. And we're seeing Americana, Renaissance culture being promoted everywhere and being adopted in Latin America, being adopted in areas of Asia, in India especially, in Russia. And it is a beautiful thing to see. The globalists are in full panic mode with dozens of countries pulling out of the unelected globalist system. And that's why they're trying to force Trump out of office. That's why they're trying to derail the last election, because they understand it's one of the biggest dominoes to ever fall against tyranny. Does that mean Trump's perfect? Absolutely not. Does that not mean he's not having to use some swamp creatures as guides to be able to start draining the swamp? No, he's absolutely doing that. But you can see overall how much good stuff is happening. So if you just joined us, former head of the CIA has come out, who was there while all this was going on. He was also the acting head. He endorsed Hillary Clinton. He's apologized and said deep state intelligence war on Trump was illegal and was wrong. And he's emerged from the shadows of the deep state to say that they should not have done it when he was president-elect or when he was a candidate or when he was the president, and that it was basically illegal and super ultra dangerous. You tried a coup. You thought Trump would have dirt all over him just like you guys do, and he didn't have any. I mean, the guy tells you that we're torturing when it's secret and says he wants to do more of it. I don't even agree with that, but it's like, that's what you get with Trump. It's very refreshing. And we're going to crush ISIS. 11 months later, they're gone. They're defeated, except for rogue groups. You want the economy back? It's happening. So it's just insane how they are panicking, and even CNN admits, okay, he's the keeper of promises, but he's a naive idiot because it's dumb what he's doing. It's dumb to defeat radical Islam, to try to block people that are unvetted coming in, to get the stock market, the economy back. Now it's 2 million new jobs. Now it's 3.5 growth rate. If the tax cuts go through, it's going to be 7 to 10% growth rates. I mean, that'll pay off the student loans. It'll be a boom town, folks. It'll be incredible. Turn the whole thing around. Because they were artificially suppressing it. So here's the giant issue you need to know. Here's the big one right now. They are getting ready after the Russia investigation collapses. They're going to keep that going to save face and act like they were right and declare victory on it. But it's an illegal joke to cover up for people that were actually involved in that. Just like the same PP-Gate dossier made up by former MI6 and Jeb Bush and then passed on to the Democrats, who spent another $10 million on it, total $13 million. In there they have the whole expansion of other lies against Trump, and that he was on airplanes in places having sex with little children. But it's only Bill Clinton on the flight logs. Never was Trump near one of the airplanes or one of the parties. So again, Russia, pedophilia, everything they're doing, they put on Trump. They put on me. They put on you. You know, anybody that voted for Trump, you're a dupe of the Russians. Anybody that says the Russian investigation is a lie, Rand Paul, Tucker Carlson, Alex Jones, Matt Drudge, we're all Russian agents. So Stephen Bannon, Jared Kushner, anybody that actually tried to turn the country back on, that they see as a threat, is a Russian agent. Anybody that's fighting pedophilia is now a pedophile. So they're now going away from the Russia investigation. That's training out. The former head of the CIA, while all this was going on, has come out and said, we're sorry, it was wrong. That's a white flag to Trump. And that's good. Because Trump says you can get out of this if you just stop and just let us bring the country back. We will not put you in prison. And he's doing that pragmatically because they'll fight to the death if he doesn't. He's very smart. But Trump does what he says when he makes a deal. See, deals are all about deals. America's soft power was about until the mid-1960s. If we told you something, we did it. Treachery's not cool. Napoleon engaged in treachery, folks. Hitler engaged in treachery. America's not supposed to do that. Not because we're even perfect, but because we want the soft power of people knowing a deal's a deal. So Trump's already been to the CIA. He said, just stop it. Just stop the criminal activity, and we're not going to put you in prison. But if it continues and you make a move, you're not going to be going to prison. Because you make an illegal paramilitary move on America, we're ready to take you out. And they now realize that. They now all realize they are in the crosshairs, politically and in other ways. That's why it's such an incredible time to be alive right now. So, building up. They're moving to #MeToo, having the Democrat senators call for hearings, call for his impeachment. It's begun. And for what? They've got these women out there saying, well, he asked me out 12 years ago, or he called me the C word 30 years ago because I'd been rude to him on an airplane or whatever. And it's just so obvious this is a load of baloney. But it doesn't matter. Statute of limitations, all of it. It's just crazy. It's not even criminal stuff, though. So what's going to come next? Just like night follows day and day follows night. Just like blood's red and the ocean's blue. They've got a bevy of women that they've canvassed at every level of the Trump administration and going back 30 years, and they're offering them money, and they're vetting them, and they're seeing who they can get to come out and credibly go after him. You're going to see by Christmas, another 10 women go public. And then you're going to hear women come out and say that he raped them in January. And it will be, they're going to go whole hog. There'll be 100 women by February of next year. And it'll just be, there's no way they're all lying. No, you just canvass a whole country of Democrats and lunatics and crazy people and you pay them off. But here's the good news. We're not stupid. Nobody's stupid. There are a lot of women that actually care about this country. And when people are offering them stuff at dinner and doing all this, you people are so stupid. I'm told by high-level connections in U.S. intelligence that they have more than 20 tapes of credible women beyond Project Veritas taping Democrat Party operatives, lawyers, and groups offering them money to say Donald Trump raped them or assaulted them or just had sex with them and cheated on his wife. So you go ahead and it's all going to get released, cupcakes. What you think? You think we don't know? You think we don't know what you people are up to, you bunch of pedophile, devil-worshipping crap? When I come back, I'm going to play Bill O'Reilly talking about this, and it's like metaphysical, because I was intending to, I said it a few days ago, I was intending to come on the air today and just say, get ready, you know the next move. It'll be a bunch of more fake women. Again, we have them, though, ladies and gentlemen, and it's a real shame that they wouldn't just go after the Clintons before and run a real Democrat candidate. But they tried to cover it up. They tried to project it onto Trump. They assault women. They cover up the assault of women. They're in bed with the Russians. They're in bed with the pedophiles, literally. And so what do? They project that so that they're the ones first pointing the finger so people get confused and they get away with it. Well, guess what? We're aware of your scams. And we're aware that you've been canvassing throughout the entire campaign and couldn't find but a couple of women with, like, pathetic stories and nobody ever alone with him because it didn't happen. And now you're out there canvassing everywhere desperately. Go ahead. It's going to blow up in your face even worse. Watch, losers. We'll be back. And Hillary was planning to declare civil emergency when she got in office, banning free speech and arresting her opposition. That's been in their own publications, Atlantic Monthly, you name it. They just said, let's just go ahead with our plan anyways. Let's just overthrow Trump, announce the whole election was run by the Russians, take all the Republicans that were elected then, kick them out, have Homeland Security take over the elections, federalize them, and you never have a real election again. And you notice we first told you about that during the campaign. Obama put it into law, and Trump hasn't been able to reverse it yet. They got it in the John Warner Defense Authorization Act earlier for martial law back 10 years ago. But then the new one for 2017, right before Obama left, has similar stuff, but it says for any reason. And they can take over the media. It names the Board of Governors. It'll control who's on the air and not. The very Board of Governor head went on C-SPAN in a congressional hearing in the Armed Services Committee and said, I'm a Russian agent. I need to be shut up. That was almost a year ago. And then 3 weeks ago, they talk about how they censor us in live time, ladies and gentlemen, when we're #1. They said, Alex Jones and Paul Watson are #1. They said, sir, we shut them down at lunch. The congressman goes, get faster next time. Heads of Google, Facebook, and Twitter. Yes, sir, we're censoring those evil Americans right now. Because it's okay, because we're the Russians that want to build up the military and defend the border and bring back sovereignty and defend Christianity and take care of the military and create jobs for everybody and a huge stock market. We're the Russians. Yeah, we're the Russians, folks, right here. Yeah, I'm real Russian. You got all these globalists. They're trying to sell the country out. That'll point their fingers at people that are dyed-in-the-wool, 100% Americana to a sickening level. To a rampaging, foaming at the mouth Americana, baby. You point at me and claim that I am the foreign power and that I work for foreign powers because you do. You do. And we're taking it away from you. And everybody else is getting out of your globalism. From Spain to Russia to everywhere. So you go ahead and you keep trying it, scum. You keep claiming people all over the world that want their freedom from this big global combine, just like we wanted freedom from King George 250 years ago. You keep claiming we're the foreign power. And we will 4th of July your big fat butts so fast it'll make your head spin. That's why coming up on Monday, we're going to have a 34-hour broadcast again that I am deeming the INFOWARS. What term did I come up with? I came up with some wild term. There it is, Christmas Spectacular Extravaganza. Because they hate us talking about Christmas. They hate us talking about our victories and how successful liberty is right now. But it is. We're having a spectacular extravaganza of awakening. I mean, sometimes you got to use hype words when it's true. We're routing the globalists. Zbigniew Brzezinski and David Rockefeller all died this year. I mean, it just keeps getting better. The mainstream media is going bankrupt. The NFL's falling apart. All the un-American crap is on fire. And I mean collapsing fire, not in fuego like we are. Oh, man, I'm getting a little too excited here. So, let me get final news here before I play these clips. They're attacking me everywhere. They took a year-old video I did with Alexa in here from Amazon, admittedly funded by the CIA, run by the CIA, and all the rest of it. And that's in the news. And they make jokes about it and say it's a new video I did this week. And it's a big, one of the top stories in the country where all these articles attacking me. Meanwhile, Netflix is in trouble for watching and listening to their consumers and sharing it on Twitter. Netflix faces backlash for tweeting consumers' private viewing habits. That's nothing. Alex Jones grills Amazon's Alexa. Are you connected to the CIA? Then they make a joke and say it isn't. Bezos gets billions now from the CIA. Bezos got taxpayer money to take over the Washington Post and run it as a breakaway CIA group. We just had the former director apologize. See, you guys are getting rolled up right now. The details about the CIA's deal with Amazon, that's the Atlantic. But again, they say it's crazy. The CIA is about to sign a game-changing $600 million deal with Amazon. Business Insider. The CIA's Washington Post and Russia. What they're not telling you, zero heads. And now this, another gentleman, another president of Facebook, former exec. You don't realize it, but you're being programmed. And this gentleman is Karmath Palahaptaiva. I'm pronouncing that right, an Indian gentleman, another one of these super geniuses, saying, we're programming you, it's destroying society, it's pure evil, it's destroying your family, it's meant to hurt you, I apologize. So Sean Parker, the former president, now this former head, are all saying, it's evil, it's bad, we're sorry, please do, watch out, because they know, they now know about the AI endgame, the exterminism plan. See, their life force is kicking in, or they're just trying to hedge their bets. So when this all goes down, you don't come after them. Oh, ex-Facebook president Sean Parker, site made to exploit human vulnerability. Everything I've been telling you. Facebook's first president on the Facebook. God only knows what's doing to our children's brains. So, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. The reason I mentioned that so you understand the big enchilada here. And I'm going to only play part of this. The full article is by Paul Watson on InfoWars.com. Needs to go viral. But this is O'Reilly, who, again, a creepy guy, lied about me some on air, definitely harassed women. The transcripts are out there. He settled a bunch of them, sometimes like $15 million for a bunch of phone calls, saying, hey, baby, but it was some creepy stuff, really creepy. The point is that he understands a bunch of people piled on, and he's got the intel, so do we, that we have tapes of other women who are being offered money to lie about Trump. And so that's the ace in the hole, a little secret to globalists. Obviously, if they are not stupid, no. So go ahead and try to play your hand, scum. But here is Bill O'Reilly on the Glenn Beck program.
I want to tell you one thing, though. I don't know if I mentioned this on your program, but I predicted, and we discussed last week, that there's going to be a tremendous assault on President Trump coming.
Agree.
Probably come in January, because he did get the tax reform passed, and the Democrats now say, well, we got to destroy him because he may get reelected. There is a tape, Beck, an audio tape of an anti-Trump person offering $200,000 to a woman to accuse Donald Trump of untoward behavior.
So, you have talked to me about this. You've talked to me about this tape. You've talked to me about it privately as well with additional information. Is this tape going to be released, or?
Well, I may have to go to the U.S. attorney myself. I don't want to have to do that and inject myself into the story. But I had my lawyer listen to the tape, my attorney.
Right.
He's listened to it. There are at least 3 crimes on the tape. So as a citizen, I may have to do this.
I will tell you, Bill, that that's the first thing that you said. You said, well, I'm trying to get it, so it could be released. It needs to be released. And you weren't talking about getting it for you to release it, but it had to be out there. And I think the first time I said to you, I mean, if they don't, you got to bring it to the U.S. attorney.
I listen. Again, it's in the hands of someone who knows.
All right, let's stop right there. The full interview is posted in Paul Joseph Watson's article on newswars.com and infowars.com. But it's not just this tape. There are more than a dozen tapes. I'm told more than 20. Very credible Project Veritas type stuff. I'm not going to give up sources, but obviously Veritas is on this. A bunch of other folks are on this, but mainly women that have worked for Trump or been around. And then somebody starts offering them this, and they start recording because they like Trump. And they know it's not true. And so that's why they've got a big problem. One other big piece of video is Sarah Sanders Huckabee telling CNN, I'm not taking another question from you. And the media spins this like, oh, she's anti-free press. She's not taking questions. They could kick CNN out of there. They're not real news. Remember under Obama, the press secretary and Obama would be given the questions by the press corps beforehand. It's staged press conferences. They don't do that with Trump. Trump wouldn't do that. Sarah Sanders Huckabee doesn't do that. She's just saying, you always keep dominating. I'm not going to you anymore. You've had your time. They spin that, again, into hurting the press when they're the ones staging the whole press and getting caught doing it. But I'm telling you, I'm so excited about the global awakening. It is. What do I call it? The Christmas spectacular extravaganza. But get ready. They're going to come back with even bigger lies and bigger fraud. They haven't given up yet, but we're starting to break their back thanks to you. I remember 15, 16 years ago seeing articles out there in the conservative press about the war on Christmas and the war on Christians and the war on things that are traditional. And I thought, oh, that's just super fringe leftist. And that's just using a few case point examples. This is exaggerated. But the last 5-6 years, we've all witnessed the open assault, not just on Christianity or the right to religion or libertarianism or Christianity, but we've seen the left, the globalists, double down on a war against Western civilization because it's been so open and has been promoting freedom. And then I just see stacks of articles all over the place with liberal comedians saying they got freaked out when their boyfriend had a flag in his front yard, an American flag, or they get freaked out when they see a Halloween party and people dressed as Native Americans and cowboys. I mean, this is true basket case mental illness where these people are beyond racist, because a racist is obsessed with a few different ethnic groups and thinks they're the best. These are people that are at war with reality and just symbols and diversity and culture. They call it cultural appropriation. If I wear cowboy boots, because that's Spanish, or if my wife gets a hairstyle that's associated with being African, whatever the case is, it's about creating total dysfunctionalism where people aren't educated on business and life and working together, but they're educated on infighting and again, being mental patients. And just in the last few weeks, there's a campus reform article, universities strive for Christmas-free campuses. And they don't spend time educating you on how to get a job or how to be research and marketing or mathematics or business or law or science. It's all how to not have Christmas trees and not say Merry Christmas and how to be politically correct. And the schools strive to not just get rid of the Christmas trees and mention of Christmas, but, you know, masculinity, toxic masculinity. Murals of football players might be threatening, so those have been covered up. And murals at major universities that have busts or paintings of Martin Luther King have been removed because he wasn't inclusive to gay people or transsexuals in speeches he gave. So he says he didn't mention them. Some terms didn't exist then. He's bad. I mean, this is authoritarianism nakedly taking control of language. And George Orwell wrote about how total authoritarianism would restrict language and cut it down, that was the main goal. And he, of course, was a Fabian socialist. He knew. Universities use end of fiscal year party instead of holiday party. Don't even say holiday. See, first don't say Christmas, then don't say holiday. This is cult mind control. Use whatever name you want. I don't agree with satanic black masses, but you want to say we're having a satanic black mass, you have that. People want to come, they go. Or you want to say we're having a Muslim event, do it. I mean, this is the opposite of Western free society. Update. Carols, Rudolph, tree-shaped cookies, and even the word holiday are politically incorrect now. See, these are control freaks that take our kindness for weakness and then try to just condition us to put up with all this crap. Well, I'm not doing it. You know, we didn't used to have Christmas trees down here at the studios during Christmas because I just couldn't imagine things had gotten to that point. But just like George Orwell said, the freedom against tyranny is the ability to say 2 + 2 = 4, to say father, to say mother, to say family. They're trying to ban that on entrance forms and are doing it in many areas. Being able to play White Christmas and say it's about snow on the ground, not about racism, idiot, and to play Bing Crosby. To do just these basic things that are sentimentality, that are basic Americana culture, that is revolutionary. To do the simple things is what crushes them because they want to train us to hate ourselves and be guilty for the simplest of things. That's why throughout this week into next week, I'm coining the term Christmas week, starting on the 11th, running right through to the Sunday. So that's why we're announcing Christmas week to counter them, because just saying the word Christmas in association with Christmas and hijacking all their marketing terms instead of Black Friday after Thanksgiving, that's meant to hijack Thanksgiving, instead of Cyber Monday, how about we call it American Economy Monday, or instead of just letting them all name things Green Monday on the 11th, let's say it's Christmas Monday, the kickoff of Christmas week. And then if other businesses and other companies and other groups and other factories adopt that, say they're having sales during that week, we can start taking over culture through commerce, voting with our dollars, voting through marketing, something the globalists want the only control of. They want the purview of that. So that's why, starting on the 11th and running right through for the next 7 days, we're dubbing it Christmas Monday and then Christmas week. And we've got huge sales throughout this week on supplements, nutraceuticals, Patriot apparel, books, videos, water filters, air purification, all these great things that you need, your family needs. High-quality emergency radios, shortwave radios, the highest quality body armor and clothing that's very easy to conceal it in, firearms, accessories, thousands of items, hundreds and hundreds of them, at least 30% off, more than 60 best-selling items at 50% off, and we have more than 15 products at 65% or more off their already low prices. We have the private label colloidal silver that Whole Foods uses, that Jeff Bezos sells for $25. Normally, for $15, we sell it. It's a great deal. You know, that's on sale. $19, it's a good deal. It's like $9 and something right now. That's what's going on during Christmas week at INFOWARS, and we're kicking this off. We've got Knock Out the Great Herbal Sleep Aid, 50% off. Survival Shield, the Good Halogen, 50% off. Super Male Vitality, 50% off. DNA Force, 33% off. We have Alpha Power. This is introductory for men and women. It's the ultimate formula we could develop with top laboratories in the U.S. for stamina, libido, energy, focus, heart health, brain health, cholesterol being healthy, testosterone levels going up in the natural spectrum to the highest levels that are known to be natural. This is all available. So whether it's Alpha Power or Super Male Vitality or whether it's Brain Force, our amazing nootropic, they're all discounted 30 to 67% is the largest discount, and those are real discounts. Many of these are loss leaders. We have free shipping store-wide. On top of that, if you sign up for auto ship, you get an additional 10% off. Most of these items become loss leaders when you sign up for auto ship, cancel anytime at InfoWarsStore.com. The reason I'm doing it is I want you to try Brain Force and see how great it is. I want you to try Alpha Power and see how amazing it is. I want you to experience these products for yourself. At the same time, fund the information war against the globalists that's defending families, that's defending the right to practice classical culture. They brought in all these systems to take control of our holidays. Let's remember it for what it is. Christmas for Christmas' sake. That's why in the week leading up to the final week of Christmas, we're launching nationwide Christmas Week. And we're launching the biggest sales ever at InfoWarsStore.com with free shipping and 50 to 67% off hundreds and hundreds of items at InfoWarsStore.com. And coming up on Monday at 8 a.m. with David Knight, myself, and others, we're going to kick off a special 34-hour broadcast, which is the Christmas Spectacular Extravaganza. All their failed scumbag Hollywood garbage they call extravaganzas. Their NFL crap they call extravaganzas. But the truth is, taking America back, defeating the globalists, bringing back free market capitalism. Our victories, your victories, are spectacular extravaganzas. And they hate Christmas, so let's put that in there and let this be a celebration of all of our victories against the globalists. Infowars.com/show is where the spectacular Christmas extravaganza begins. That's where the New World Order ends.
Welcome back to the Alex Jones Show. Standing in now for Alex Jones, I am Owen Schroyer. We will be hearing back from Alex again in the next segment. He's going to be breaking down a Megyn Kelly segment on her failing television show. That's right. She decided to abandon everything that made her successful, attack Alex Jones, and now she's been brushed off into the dustbin of television media, going from hosting political presidential debates to hosting her own morning show that nobody watches except winos. And so she gets a couple people on to try to blame Trump for asking for their phone number. I mean, folks, how dare you ask someone for their phone number, especially if you want to see them again? I mean, if you want to see someone again, you should just, like, not ask them for their phone number as to not offend them. But Alex will cover that in the next segment. Here is CNN's Jim Acosta, not Acosta, he accosts ya, trying to disrespect Sarah Huckabee Sanders. And once again, Sarah Huckabee Sanders puts the fake news rodent Jim Acosta in his place. Here's that clip.
Jim? Reporters' mistakes and disinformation campaign by a foreign government. Does he see a distinction there?
I haven't spoken with him about that, but certainly we would take any misinformation like that very seriously. But it's not something we're comparing the two on.
And I would just say, Sarah, that journalists make honest mistakes, and that doesn't make them fake news. But the question
But when journalists make honest mistakes, they should own up to them. Sometimes, and a lot of times you don't. We do. There's a difference. There's a very big... I'm sorry. I'm not finished. Okay. There's a very big difference between making honest mistakes and purposefully misleading the American people, something that happens regularly. You can't say, I'm not done. You cannot say, you cannot say that it's an honest mistake when you're purposely putting out information that you know to be false, or when you're taking information that hasn't been validated, that hasn't been offered any credibility, and that has been continually denied by a number of people, including people with direct knowledge of an instance. This is something that I'm speaking about the number of reports that have taken place over the last couple of weeks. I'm simply stating that there should be a certain level of responsibility in that process.
This was not,
Brian, I called on Jim.
This is not the line of questioning that I was going down, but can you cite a specific story that you say is intentionally false, that was intentionally put out there to mislead the American people? He's like Mickey Mouse.
Sure, the ABC report by Brian Ross, I think that was pretty misleading to the American people, and I think that it's very telling.
Yeah, how about the Washington Post and then CNN? Oh, Trump got the WikiLeaks. Yeah, after they were public.
Seriously, and recognize that it was a problem.
Sarah,
Jim?
If I may, I was going to ask a question about something else.
You used it on something else. Jim?
If I may, Sarah,
not today. We're going to keep moving, guys.
If I can ask about the president's accusations.
I'm moving to a different Jim.
So now Jim Acosta won't shut up.
a chance to ask the question I wanted to ask, which is,
Jim,
can you just say once and for all whether the...
Jim, I'm going to say once and for all that I'm moving on to Jim Stinson, and I'm not taking another question from you at this point.
Yeah, just boot Jim Acosta out. Just kick CNN out.
That's okay.
See, this is what we need to do. This is why Alex wanted me to go forward and press these charges against these Antifa guys, these thugs that were bullying me and stopping me from my right to peacefully assemble at Woolridge Square. This is now, I believe, the White House's opportunity to just kick CNN out. Just boot him. Here's Jim Acosta. How many times has this guy been inappropriate and interrupting people and disrupting decorum in the gaggle, in the press room during these press briefings? This is the perfect time. Just kick him out. Just boot him. Oh my gosh, can you imagine the nuclear fire show that CNN would be the day after they get booted from the Washington White House press corps? Oh my gosh. People would be celebrating in the streets. CNN is fake news. Boot them. Jim Acosta's out of control. Just boot CNN. When we get back, it's Alex Jones talking Megyn Kelly's hit piece on Donald Trump. Welcome back to the Alex Jones Show. Owen Schroyer here. Guys, am I pitching to the Alex Jones video? All right, so here's Alex Jones breaking down Megyn Kelly in her latest failing segment that nobody watches, a hit piece against Donald Trump.
I have personally experienced the deception of Megyn Kelly. And I didn't just come out and tell people she lied to me. I recorded her telling me that it wasn't a hit piece and she was really into me and it was going to be this nice, friendly discussion and that she wasn't going to get into all these issues that she did get into. She's just like Brian Williams. She's like CNN. She's a fraud, in my view. And she's a failure. Her so-called magazine show went down upwards of 80% in the ratings once she took it over. She's a joke. Well, you talk about lame. The three women that they recycled on her NBC program to push this whole narrative, you know, that Trump's this sexual predator. No, that's Bill Clinton, that's Harvey Weinstein, that's Kevin Spacey. That's the real confirmed cases, witnesses of the rape, people settling rape cases, people intimidating folks. That's the whole history going on for years with Hollywood jokes about it. Never jokes about Donald Trump until this happened. And then I watched the videos of these women on INFOWARS.com in a Paul Joseph Watson article. Trump accusers characterized asking for a phone number, name-calling as sexual assault. That's like London. 7 other cities in England have done it, is banning men talking to women or whistling at them, saying it's hate. Just banning free speech. But Muslims can grab you and rape you and throw acid on your face or sexually groom tens of thousands of young kidnapped girls. That's all, bomb the Port Authority, bomb Times Square, run over folks with trucks. Google will ban you if it say it's Islamic. There's another article on InfoWars.com by Jamie White. MSM Dems renewed Trump sex accusations amid Russian fake news fails. So they've gone through that he's got Alzheimer's and he's a Russian agent. He stole the election. All of that's admittedly a fake. Even former Democrats and high-level CIA have come out today and said, we're wrong. The proof is Trump didn't do anything with the Russians. It's all lies. Hell, they say I'm a Russian agent. I mean, I really know it's lies. They say Tucker Carlson and Rand Paul is, because we say, where's the evidence? You want evidence? You're a Russian agent.
Okay, you're not, you know what, you're dodging.
And Tucker,
no, look and say, I know they did. John Podesta's emails, they hacked those.
And I think that Ronald Reagan will be rolling over his grave.
Ronald Reagan.
You're carrying water for the Kremlin.
I'm not carrying water for the... You're a sitting member of Congress on the Intel Committee, and you can't say they hacked...
You're gonna have to move your show to RT Russian television because...
You know what?
That's
just so beneath your office because it's so dumb and you're being duplicitous. I'm asking you, did they hack Podesta's emails? And you can't say it.
Now, before I say this, I want to be perfectly clear. I'm not in the PC culture. If I want to attack somebody because of the way they look, if it ties into my overall free speech, I'm going to do it. I don't make it my business to do it, but I do it. The left, though, has comedians attacking Sarah Huckabee Sanders, calling her obese and ugly, and they all think that's cute and beautiful. I'm not going to call these women obese or ugly. I'm going to call them unattractive and not Donald Trump's type, and people who have no witnesses, and people who don't even allege he did anything illegal. Ask a woman out? tell a woman that she was rude to him on a plane. And this is, in one case, 30 years later. In another case, 12 years ago. I mean, this is crazy. And you sit there watching Megyn Kelly with the big corporate media and the globalists try to manipulate a studio audience of women into booing and hissing about Trump to manipulate women out there watching in America. And I know this, women that I know are way more savvy than this and see right through it. Just like Joy Behar on The View, celebrating that Flynn admits he's a Russian agent. Flynn admits Trump told him to work with the Russians during the campaign. All a hoax. And all targeting women. They think you're stupid. They think you're morons. It's disgusting. And it's because men aren't politically involved. Women have to get involved politically more than men. And then the government comes in, the corporations come in, the media comes in and tries to brainwash you. But look, let it speak for itself. Let's play a couple clips of this. The women come off very disingenuous. What they're saying doesn't even hold any water and isn't even approaching criminal. And it just fits into this whole narrative that the whole Hollywood system tried to push when they knew that women rejected Hillary Clinton because of Bill Clinton and settling those rape cases. And they knew people didn't have faith in the Democratic Party anymore. So their comeback reboot is to say, we covered up all those rapes and all those assaults and all that stuff in Congress with secret slush funds. But now we're really good. So we threw some Democrats under the bus, John Conyers and Al Franken, who are easy wins for Democrats. So they're not getting rid of the seats to show you that we're really good. Now let's get rid of Donald Trump. The difference is we don't have photos of Donald Trump groping a sleeping woman. The difference is we don't have the hundreds of women coming forward about Conyers. We don't have videos of Trump everywhere like Joe Biden groping everybody and their dog. We know what you're trying. We first predicted your reboot. It's exposed, and it's going to fall flat. And I want to be clear. Barring election fraud and barring incredible dirty tricks, which I don't put past them, I believe Roy Moore will win today in Alabama. Not because he's perfect, but because they put out so much fraud. All this foreign money has come in to manipulate and tell Alabamans what to do. People are sick of it. So it's not a referendum on Roy Moore, even though most of the stories have turned out to be fake, and the others are being disproven right now. But it's a referendum against the globalists saying, look, we're not buying your propaganda anymore. We're sick of Hollywood and the mainstream media. We're sick of your anti-God, anti-family garbage, and we are rejecting you.
We've seen, when some come forward and speak publicly, others tend to follow. Of course, his situation, you came out a year ago. What do you want them to know if there are other women out there?
Oh, I would love for them to come forward and speak up. But, we have a problem here in that we have been enculturated all this time for years and years and years to be subservient and to be compliant and to get along, and that's a hard habit to break. And then we've also been taught that some of the aggression is our fault. We wore the wrong clothes. We had too much makeup on. We were in the wrong place. We went to a party. I mean, it's just amazing. But for the women who voted for Trump, I really think that they just didn't want to vote for a woman.
No, I don't know if that's true. There were plenty of reasons not to vote for Hillary Clinton. Plenty. There's a long list over there. Long list. But again, the impossibility of the choice, if you're a voter who cares about sexism, the impossibility of the choice in 2016 was readily apparent.
And then up to the table comes Donald Trump and his first wife. And she was very pregnant at that point. Now, at that point, I'd been in the city long enough to be reading about Trump and the Trump family and some of their stories and some of the gossip that was going around. So I knew and I recognized him immediately as the guy on the airplane. But, it's like, but he stands there as I'm handing him his table assignment and he says, I remember you. You were that woman from the airplane. He called me the worst name ever.
What do you mean? There was a descriptor before a woman?
Yes. Yes.
Can you give us a hint?
It's the worst one. It really is. And
you don't want to say it out loud, but does it begin with a C?
Yes. Yes, and the room cleared. I mean, it was like everybody just sort of disappeared into the...
Does it end with tea?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure we're all on the same page.
It was shocking. It was like a bucket of cold water being thrown over me.
Some are calling for a probe, a Senate ethics probe into his behavior. Is that what you want?
I think that's fair. I mean, they were more than willing to do that for Senator Franken. Why is the president immune to that?
But this is my observation, and that is, as I said, my story is so old, but I have talked to a lot of people, not the women from Trump, because as we said, this is the first time we've had any contact with each other. But I've talked to businesswomen, I've talked...
Welcome back to the Alex Jones Show. Sitting in for Alex, I am Owen Schroyer. Glad to be with you here today. You just heard Alex responding to what is obviously a hit piece on Megyn Kelly's TV show. I don't even know the name of it, don't care to. And you just listen to these women. I mean, it's strange. They don't care that everything they're trying to do right now to get their political agenda accomplished, which is remove Trump from office. So they use this, they create this environment where all you have to do is accuse someone of sexual assault and they're guilty. So that's what they've been doing. You know, they throw Franken under the bus, they throw Conyers under the bus, they throw Weinstein under the bus. They still don't, they kind of want to just tiptoe around the Spacey thing because, you know, that might be getting a little too gruesome if you actually look into what's going on there with some of those investigations. And so they create this environment, and then Mark Halperin has to quit, and Charlie Rose is gone, and Matt Lauer is gone, and, you know, all these guys at NPR are gone, and so now they're clearing house, and they're creating this environment where we're doing something about it. We're the good guys. We care about this, even though they haven't cared for the last 40 years. Magically, all of a sudden, Trump becomes president, and they care. So I guess we should really be thanking Trump, actually, if these people want to virtue signal over everything they're doing to remove people from positions of power, whether it be in the media or the government, that have all of these sexual assault allegations against them. That wasn't happening until Trump became president. So you know what? Thank you, President Trump. President Trump is responsible for getting the entire Me Too movement started. Wow, another victory for President. Thank you, President Trump. So if it wasn't for Trump, you wouldn't have known about Harvey Weinstein. You wouldn't have known about Al Franken. You wouldn't have known about Matt Lauer. Of course, unless you listened to all the jokes they made about those guys in the past when it was funny. Then Trump becomes president, now it's serious. So that's just how that goes. But see, here's what is the more sinister part of that. Is that you get these women on the Megyn Kelly show, and she says, oh, you know, Trump, he called me a mean name. Oh, that Donald Trump, he asked me for my phone number. Ooh, oh my. And so now you've got this crazy thing where men, you're going to have this, folks, because these women in this Megyn Kelly clip are not alone. And I don't mean with these allegations. I mean that there are women out there. Of course, they eat this stuff up, but they've already gotten a full-on buffet of liberal indoctrination. See, they're already victims. They think they're getting paid less. They think they get treated wrong in the office. Now they think anytime a guy looks at them or calls them a name, whether it be good or bad, or asks for their phone numbers, now they're victims of sexual assault. So now they've got another level of victimhood that they can embrace. Oh, yes, I'm not treated fair. I'm a woman. Oh, yes, I don't get paid the same. I'm a woman. Oh, there's people that want to stop me from aborting a baby because I'm a woman. Oh. And now it's, oh, my gosh, men look at me because I'm a woman. Oh, I'm such a victim. And so now men are going to notice that this is going on, and they're going to be like, whoa, like, this is actually toxic. I don't want to talk to a woman. I can't even ask for her phone number. So this is now the scorched earth that they're leaving behind because of their political agenda. So who cares if normal interactions between men and women are now tarnished because of a fake news story that's gone beyond the pale, beyond fake news? It's now a fake culture war. It's now just fake culture, just fake everything. So you've got that angle. Then you've got Gloria Allred. Now, let's just say some skeletons might be falling out of Allred's closet before it's all said and done. But think about this. Gloria Allred, the famed lawyer for women. She stands up for women. Oh, yes, Gloria Allred. She cares so much about the woman. She's here for women. And then she takes an accuser of Roy Moore who fabricates a signature on a yearbook, and she runs with that to try to bring down Roy Moore, just like what you're seeing with Trump. And then what happens? That individual that Allred is representing admits to forging the document that she claimed was Roy Moore's signature. Oh, wow, wait a second. Anyone with a legal background understands that now, because of that, the entire case is thrown out. You just blew the entire case against Roy Moore, because now we can't trust any of the evidence, we can't trust any of the accusers, and now we have reasonable doubt. So you just cost yourself the entire lawsuit. Oops, sorry, Gloria, you blew it again. And you know what else she's done? Just like they've scorched the earth behind them, trying to ruin Donald Trump, and now normal interactions between men and women might be considered sexist or rape even. Yes, that's right. That's what they're saying. Catcalling now in Europe needs to be illegal. Okay, so you've got that angle. Then real victims of sexual assault, you know what, who maybe don't get the Gloria Allred to represent them because there is no political agenda behind it. There is no ground to be gained politically by representing these women. These are just women who are actual victims of sexual assault. Now they try to come forward and they try to make accusations. And what are people going to say? What are juries going to think? What are judges going to think? You know, I've seen cases of this where they're forging signatures, they're making up stories. So I don't know. I don't know if I can trust this now. So now Gloria Allred has scorched the earth for real victims of sexual assault. So thanks a lot. So the political agenda to remove Trump from office using this Me Too movement that only happened because of President Trump, they're now scorching earth for regular relations with just the average individual in society, where if you ask for a phone number, now a woman is so brainwashed into being a victim that she thinks she's being raped. Then actual victims of sexual assault that want to come forward get no attention from Gloria Allred, but now their entire testimony is going to be in question because of what Gloria Allred brought forth with a forged signature and a fake accusation. And why are they doing all this? Because of President Trump. They cannot have Trump in office. He's not with the Washington establishment. He's not from the swamp. He actually wants to drain the swamp. He wants to put America first, and these people hate it. And it shows you how big of frauds they are when they say they're for women, when they say they want to represent women, yet here they are using women as a political pawn and burning to the ground everything they leave behind them, making it impossible to actually have normal relations again. And guess what? That includes women. So that's what they're doing. It's really incredible. All right, folks, we're about to take a break. I will take your calls in the third hour. So in the third hour, exclusively your calls. When we come back, though, we've got a video. Our reporters went out and followed Sibel Edmonds, and what we found was that when Sibel wanted to ask questions to these congressmen, they literally locked her out. So why did they lock her out? I'm not sure. We've got the footage, though. Shocking. Shocking. Congressmen don't want to talk to INFOWARS? Why are they so scared of us? Is that because we're real news?
I'm Alex Jones.
I'm Owen Schroyer.
You'll notice we're tag teaming. I've been on earlier. He just came in for a segment or two because behind the scenes, I am gearing up for the big special broadcast tonight after INFOWARS Live with yours truly, Alex Jones. Owen Schroyer will have the War Room with Roger Stone and other great analysts from 3 to 6 p.m. Central. And then that's on AM and FM stations and TV stations. Then we're going to return tonight, 6 o'clock Central, right through until the results are done. That should be about 8 o'clock or so. Again, there'll be a little respite at 6 to about 6:30. We'll run some tapes then, but we'll be live by 6:30. But the feeds will be up at 6 p.m. at Infowars.com/show with main feeds on the front page to cover this epic battle with Judge Roy Moore. A lot of people think it's a bellwether for whether the whole Me Too campaign, the whole hoax, will be able to bring down Donald J. Trump. But again, there's no evidence. You can see how they've built this whole thing, thrown their own people under the bus who are actually guilty and are now building towards going after Trump because the Russian narrative is falling apart. But here's the big issue. We know that there are tapes of women who have been propositioned by media and by political analysts to lie about Trump and say that they've been raped or assaulted or grabbed or that he cheated with them. We know that no stones have been left unturned during the campaign. They've had to recycle women that say he asked for their phone number. And I'm sorry, that woman does not look like his type. I mean, she looks like a praying mantis or something. And I'm not being mean. I mean, come on. Does that look like Melania Trump to you, or does that look like, you know, I mean, any of this stuff, or this other lady, or just, I mean, my God, it looks like the deck of the old maid card game or something. And I'm not putting these folks down, but oh, he called me the C word 30 years ago because I was mean to him on an airplane. I mean, people could pop up and say that, you know, I raped Easter bunnies 5 trillion years ago on the planet Pop-Tart. I mean, this is just ridiculous. And we've seen the Democratic Party with all their Russia hoaxes and all their other hoaxes. I don't believe a word they say. Then they go, oh, you don't care about women being assaulted. Assaulted, she says he asked for the phone number 12 years ago, and she's on here like she got run over by a train. That's the classic modern feminist BS that if a man asks you out, it's rape. And that's exactly what they're pushing. Paul Watson had an article out yesterday saying that a man just talking to you now is sexual assault. You were just getting into that, Owen. Also, Washington Post claims attacks on Mueller will overthrow the Republic. So to explain what's coming up here, this is Christmas week. You know, they have that whole Cyber Monday, and then they have Green Monday about don't drive your car, fight the crowds because, you know, it's bad for the earth, the carbon tax. No. Don't fight the crowds and stand in lines. You get better deals. You don't have to fight the traffic and have a migraine headache, and support the InfoWar at InfoWarsStore.com. So I thought, why not just have Christmas Day on Monday? But I thought, no. Christmas week, because they hate the word Christmas. They want you to say happy holidays. Now they say holidays is racist or sexist or bad, so that word's being banned on universities. Let's create not some Black Friday that hijacks the true meaning of Thanksgiving. Let's not create some evil globalist synthetic thing. Let's make it Christmas week, the week before the final week of Christmas, to celebrate and make Christmas about Christmas and funding the InfoWar and getting healthy and getting focused. So, ladies and gentlemen, to explain, we're in the middle of Christmas week. It will run until Sunday. Other people are going to adopt this. It's a great idea. The week before Christmas, Christmas week. Make it about Christmas. Use the word Christmas. Don't let them keep hijacking pieces of it. Quite frankly, with Santa Claus and the elves and then this and then that. That was kind of cute and funny, but it gets away from Christ. Then it becomes you know, globalism. Then you got to say holidays. Then you can't use holidays. It's about them controlling the language we use. So, what is more politically incorrect? What is more Americana than just saying Christmas week, and we're free market folks, so having giant sales during Christmas week at InfoWarsStore.com. Then, Owen, coming up on Monday, we're going to launch another 34-hour broadcast at 8 a.m. right through, celebrating Christmas. I think I'm even going to get some midgets in here dressed as elves to do backflips. I'm serious. And we're going to have a choral group of singers come in here, a choir. We're going to have some fun. I'm going to dress up as Santa Claus just to trigger, because even Santa Claus triggers the left now because he's a white guy. Okay? So we're going to have some fun here and just say Christmas, Christmas, Christmas. And since they really hate it, let's doll it up for the victories we've had against the globalists, for the victories our audience have had, and what an epic battle we're in. I am dubbing it the Christmas Spectacular Extravaganza. Extravaganza.
Merry Christmas.
Ho, ho, ho. Here's freedom back in your stocking. Here's prosperity back in your stocking. Here's honor back in your stocking. Bye-bye globalists. Bye-bye Clintons. Bye-bye Matt Lauer. Bye-bye Michael Moore. Bye-bye New World Order. So, Christmas Spectacular Extravaganza. I also thought about saying Spectacular Christmas Extravaganza, but we're going with Christmas Spectacular Extravaganza to trigger the globalists and get in their face. But I need to be specific. We've been having bigger and bigger sales because folks love them. And when you respond and buy more products to fund the operation, we can go down in price because it's a metric. We are running Christmas week specials that are store-wide free shipping, 50% off on the highest quality storable foods, Alpha Power, our newest product, that, ladies and gentlemen, we can even make claims about this with its LJ100. It's the most potent, highest quality, and most studied extract in its category on the market. This ingredient is extracted to the most potent form available while maintaining the bioactive portion of the plant. And again, is a secret proprietary patented extraction process. This is the most expensive stuff out there for vitality, energy, stamina, natural, healthy testosterone boost. I mean, you can make the claims. It's a fact. This is just like you say, saw palmetto is good for your prostate. I mean, you can say that because it's true. Even the FDA goes, okay, you can say it because it's just true. Now, the ingredient is extracted to be the most powerful. That's just the LJ 100 in Alpha Power. I said I want thermonuclear, but quite frankly, a lot of you are still going to want super male or anthroplex because they're great, they're cold pressed, they're excellent, they have some different properties, different strokes for different folks. But this is a product so strong I can't even take it. You can say it maintains healthy, normal, high testosterone. You can say it creates energy and increased libido. You can say it encourages hormonal balance, healthy levels in cholesterol, you name it. More energy during the day, sleep better at night. You can even say it's associated with better, deeper sleep. I'm telling you, Alpha Power has that name because, you know, we don't hype stuff up. We are bringing back the Republic. We are winning with you. We are changing the world. Anything I get involved with must be absolutely awesome. So get your Alpha Power today at InfoWarsLife.com or 888-253-3139. We have the new Red Pill product, the Real Red Pill. It's all 50% off because I want you to see how great it is. Our best-selling Brain Force, 50% off. All the best sellers, 50% off, and you don't have to fight the crowds, don't have to go through all the traffic, and you can know you're getting great products, books, videos. It's okay to be white shirt. It says it's okay to be white, okay to be black, okay to be brown, okay to be red, okay to be pink. It's great to be human in red, pointing out, hey, we're all human. The InfoWars ball caps, all lives matter. It looks like a Black Lives Matter shirt, to fight the racism and spread the word. These are the new limited edition shirts for Christmas. No reviews yet because we just came out with them this week. They're all discounted 25% off, and you can order right through the 19th and be guaranteed you get it before Christmas. But you need to probably order by the 18th or so to be absolutely sure, even though we can guarantee it. Sometimes, a day or two, off, but up until a few days before you can get it if you're in the continental United States. So help fund the InfoWar, 888-253-3139. You can also call 888-253-3139. Owen, coming up, is going to take back over because I got a lot of little busy elves here behind the scenes. But I'll be back tonight, 6 o'clock Central, live with Owen and others. But here's the big deal. They've got a bunch of more fake women. They had to build this platform, throw their own folks under the bus, build this whole Me Too network to make it look legitimate that mere allegations mean you go away, to launch the people they've paid off. We got a bunch of women that have got recordings that are going to federal prosecutors and others where they turned down the money, but a lot of women didn't turn down the money. So all they've gotten is these ancillary women that say, he looked at me once. A man walked by and he said, can I have your number? And it's like the crypt keeper or something, telling you this. It's like, I came out of the crypt. I landed on the praying mantis alien ship. And there he goes, alien. I like praying mantises. And no, I'm sorry. But seriously, there's this old massive Islamic schools confirmed. They've tried to cover it up. Found out a bunch of Democrats have been paid off. You're about to go show people video of this morning. You down there confronting them. Owen Schroyer takes over on the other side because Santa has got big stories he's working on behind the scenes that are massive. We'll have live Roy Moore election coverage throughout the broadcast and special coverage, 6 o'clock Central, Infowars.com/show. We love you.
All right, so we know what the attack is right now to try to remove Donald Trump from office. The entire Russian collusion thing is not just falling apart at the seams, it's actually totally backfiring onto the deep state and the Democrats. So they're trying to twist it and spin it and get the momentum back to the Me Too sexual assault thing. That's why Megyn Kelly's covering it. That's the whole Roy Moore thing that you're seeing going on. And again, we're going to cover the results live tonight of the Alabama Senate race. But this is the entire point. TMZ tweets this out, and it says, why is Matt Lauer out at NBC and Donald Trump still able to hold office? Now, you can insert any one of names, the dozens of names in that other than Matt Lauer. You could say, why is Harvey Weinstein out? Why is Al Franken resigning, even though he hasn't yet? I'm thinking Al Franken just licked his finger, stuck it in the air to see which way the wind blew. And depending the results of tonight's Senate race, he might actually just stick around. But that's it. That's the entire question that they've been building up towards. That's the entire, everything with the Me Too thing. Again, this isn't about women. So they'll come after us and they'll say, INFOWARS insensitive, doesn't believe the women in the Me Too. No, the point is, they never cared about women to begin with. They joked about this stuff for years until Trump became president. So you should be thanking Donald Trump for the hashtag Me Too movement, or you need to recognize it's nothing more than a political agenda. You can't ignore the facts here. But that's what they want to do. That's what they always do. And so that is the entire purpose. So they can walk around and parrot. Well, why is Harvey Weinstein had to go to rehab? Why is Trump still in the White House? Matt Lauer had to quit his job. Why is Trump still in the White House? Al Franken stepped down. Why is John Conyers? That's the entire thing. It's like, well, why didn't you care about these women until Trump became president? Why was it funny what Kevin Spacey was doing and Matt Lauer was doing and Harvey Weinstein was doing? Why was all of that funny until Trump became president? Oh, you don't want to answer that question because it reveals that you don't actually care about women. It's all a political agenda. So that's what they want to do. That's going to be their new talking point. Oh, how is X quitting, but Trump's still in office? Oh, Trump's the bad guy. Clearly he should step down. Oh, you want to know the difference? The accusations against Trump are fake. Oh, you want to know the difference? You don't actually care about women. Okay, so that whole thing is going on. That's going to continue to develop. We will take your calls in the third hour. 1-877-789-ALEX, 1-877-789-2539. We can take your calls on the Senate race that's happening tonight, the INFOWARS Christmas Spectacular Extravaganza that we have next Monday, the 18th, the next 34-hour live broadcast we have. Or if you want to talk about all this Me Too stuff and the political agenda behind it. But real quick, this is exactly the, I don't even know what you would call this. This is beyond propaganda. This is punching you in the mouth and then saying you punched yourself. This is from CNN. UN chief, America first is detrimental to American interests. Right. That makes all the sense in the world. Well, that's what the UN chief is saying on CNN. Talking to Fareed Zakaria. Yeah, Trump, it's all the same thing. Trump is bad for America. Trump is going to isolate America. Trump is going to crash the economy. Trump is going to crash the stock market. Ooh, Trump has better foreign relations with, to me, better foreign relations, at least through optics, with these other countries. I mean, just look at China. He gets the red carpet for China. Huge, big extravaganza for going to China. Obama goes to China. They don't even care. Like, you know, let yourself off the plane. You know, whatever. We'll be over here. You just take care of yourself. Trump comes to town and it's, oh, we got to get the whole entire community out here. We got to do a big celebration. I want songs. I want dances. I want red carpets. I want a big thing for Trump. Obama doesn't get that. Trump is actually making deals, going to countries, being a president, unlike Obama, who just did an apology tour. And that's detrimental to America, according to the UN chief. Oh, President Trump's going to crash the economy. We have unemployment rates hitting record lows in the Latino communities, hitting record lows in the black communities. He's bringing manufacturing back. Trump is going to crash the stock market. Every different index is having records time and time again. NASDAQ, Dow, S&P 500, just bing, 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 bing. So everything they say is a lie. And to the average individual, that's really all you have to do. What is CNN saying about it? CNN says Trump is racist. Ah, perfect. So Trump actually loves all people. Well, CNN says that Donald Trump was sexually assaulting women. Okay, so that's obviously a lie. And if they try to use that to get him out of office, that's a lie. Well, CNN said that America first is detrimental to American interest. Well, that's This one's too obvious. Putting America first would obviously be helpful for American interest. Wow. So is CNN, I mean, you just gotta, it's honestly just unbelievable. But here's the video. I even forgot about this. Hey guys, can you give me the clock back here? It's being blocked by the caller list. We'll take calls in the next hour. Sibel Edmonds goes down to the state capitol building here and is trying to get some questions answered about some funding that's going in and out between NGOs and different countries that certain congressmen and representatives here in Texas know about. So she goes in to ask some questions. Some InfoWars reporters are there. We had Jake Lloyd and Millie Weaver on the scene. We had a live broadcast going. And as they are approaching the office, I'm not sure whose office this was, if it was one of the Democrat representatives or if this was the Department of Education office. But she's approaching the office and she gets blocked from going in, asking questions, and our reporters get locked out. Here is that clip. So here they go. They're walking through the door to try to get to the office and get some questions answered. And this is, again, in the state capitol building here in Austin, Texas.
Let's see. Mark, do you want to go in there with me?
And now they're trying to go into this building, and they've locked the door. Now, the building, the wall and the door are all glass.
Looks like the door's been locked.
So you can see that's Jake Lloyd reporting here.
Are we capturing this?
Yep.
Okay.
She just came up, walked up and locked it.
She walked up and locked it as we were walking in here. Looks like they got word from somebody that there was a group coming in here.
Oh, yeah, they did.
So we're here to see our Lieutenant Governor. We're here to see Lieutenant Dan.
Folks, as soon as you see something like this, they've got something to hide. This is what you saw at Al Franken's office when the women were out there accusing him. He hid like a rat.
You can't get in.
Why wouldn't look?
I wonder who's telling him to lock the doors.
This is what people need to know. This is the public office, right? This is a public office.
Exactly.
And
they work for
us. From the people, and they don't want to respond to the people. That's amazing.
Look, just pause it right there. Just pause it right there. Fundamentally, there needs to be an overhaul of the mindset that people go into office with. And this is all because of career politicians. People get into office and they run their entire campaign and they work for the donors. That's the truth. They're not concerned what the people actually want. They work for the donors. Now, when it comes to getting into office, now all of a sudden all they care about is getting reelected. But as soon as the people who elect them, as soon as the people who they work for have a question or a concern or they want to speak to them, what do? They lock the doors to their office. They turn and run from David Knight when he wants to ask a question. And as soon as they do that, you know they've got something to hide, and that's probably a swamp creature that needs to be drained. So let's go back to this video. Let's see if they ever let them in or answered why they locked them out.
This is what happens when you have a democracy run by people that are not interested in representing the best interests of our country.
That's it. That's it right
there. The most powerful man in our state politically. He has benefited from many tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars from charter school operators, including the Gulen movement. And his door is locked. We can't even get in.
So I'm actually not sure who this individual speaking right now is. He was out there with Sibel Edmonds.
And that's funded by the taxpayers as well, right?
Now that's Sibel Edmonds speaking.
Oh, here.
Okay, so there you go, folks. So there you go. Now, they just slipped the paper into the door. Maybe they'll read it. They probably won't. They already know what's going on. So, again, InfoWars reporters are following a Sibel Edmonds documentary she's making, and they locked the doors and blocked them from getting in and asking questions as they were approaching, folks. That is not how our government is supposed to work. Whether you agree with us or not, you should be on our side. We demand answers. Welcome back to the Alex Jones Show. Owen Schroyer sitting in for Alex right now. Of course, Alex will return tonight. We are going to be doing live coverage of the Alabama Senate race, Roy Moore versus Doug Jones. Alex Jones will be hosting that tonight, kicking off around 6 o'clock, Infowars.com/show. Before I take your calls on the other side of this segment, I want to get to this clip of a former federal prosecutor, Andy McCarthy, sounding off on the Mueller investigation, but I wanted to point something out real quick before I got to that. Now, this whole Russian probe, Russian collusion narrative, whatever, all the different things. there's been so many slip-ups and cracks and anomalies and double standards along the way as they continue to build up their pile of caca that they're calling Trump-Russia collusion. They keep building this fake pile of caca up here, claiming that they have this dirt when we see behind the curtain, and we know what the real dirt is here with uranium-1 and all that. But there was something really basic about this entire thing that I realized the other day. So think about the roots of the Trump-Russia probe and what really spurred the whole thing, and then that they tried to use the dossier to get the precedent for spying on Trump. But let's go back actually a ripple before that. Let's go back to the original drop in the pond. They say that Trump was colluding with Russia to get emails to WikiLeaks and using Russia to hack into the DNC and then release those emails to WikiLeaks. But now wait a second. Let's say that's true. Let's actually go with the notion for a second that that's true and that Trump colluded with Russia and that Russia hacked the DNC and then gave those emails to WikiLeaks. Let's go ahead and for a second here say that notion is accurate. Well, then what would be the next step to take? The FBI would investigate the DNC servers. But wait, the DNC to this day has not handed the servers over. And so how is it that they're going to go after anyone in this Russian collusion probe for obstruction of justice, but ignore the DNC that won't give over the emails, won't give over the data to the FBI for the investigation? There's your obstruction of justice. It starts at the very beginning of the Russian probe. So they go off of intel they don't have, off of data they won't give us, off of evidence they can't prove exists. They do an entire Russian probe on it, arrest other people for obstruction and lying, even though at the very root of this investigation, the DNC server has not been given over to the FBI. Why is that? Because the entire thing is fake. So it's time now again to call on the DNC to give over their email servers to the FBI to be investigated. But they won't do it because they know it's a lie. Now, here is former federal prosecutor Andy McCarthy talking about the Mueller investigation.
General point about Mueller's poor judgment in larding this ridiculously inflated 17-lawyer team with Democratic donors and activists.
They all hate Trump, donated the Clinton campaign.
Not only a big problem for the integrity of the investigation, I think we're ultimately going to find that the real collusion story of the 2016 election was the way that the Obama administration put the law enforcement and intelligence arms of the administration in the service of the Clinton campaign.
And we just found out who it was.
A lot of these Mueller lawyers come from the top levels of the Obama Justice Department.
Yeah, and that's why Peter Strzok, gone. That's why Bruce Orr, gone. That's why we just discovered that Bruce Orr's wife was working for Fusion GPS. That's why we found that Bruce Orr was meeting with Glenn Simpson of Fusion GPS, meeting with Christopher Steele, and meeting with Barack Obama. There's your collusion, and Andy McCarthy just said it on Fox News. Oh my gosh, will the people wake up? We've been telling you this for a year. And Trump's going the distance. No matter how much they try to lie and smear him, he's going the distance. I think a full 8 years. Welcome back to the Alex Jones Show. Owen Schroyer sitting in for Alex. But Alex will be back tonight at 6 p.m. covering the Alabama Senate race right here live at Infowars.com/show. I'm expecting a big victory for Roy Moore tonight. Doug Jones, honestly, is just a weak candidate, and I don't think he does himself any favors. So we'll be giving you live coverage of that tonight at Infowars.com/show with Alex Jones. Now, let's get out to the phone lines. We've got a lot of callers waiting to get on here. Let's start with Rich calling in from New Jersey. Go ahead, Rich.
Yeah, Owen, how you doing?
Hey, Rich, what's on your mind?
Okay, what's on my mind is the start of this, which is the indoctrination that happens in the colleges, right? But happens on our tax dollar. You know, like the SUNY and the city universities and state universities in New York get funded by the state and city.
Well, how about the fact that you've got this new things in basically schools now are forcing people to learn about Islam. At the same time, they're telling you you can't say God in the Pledge of Allegiance and you can't have 10 commandments on school property. I mean, what is that?
It's completely insane. It's completely insane. And the worst part about it is that we're paying for it. Imagine if you were paying for a kid to go to Yale and you were learning, and you learned what they're learning, the indoctrination that they're going through on your dime. That would make me insane. That would make me insane. And Chuck Schumer is directly responsible for the 2 terror attacks that happened here through his policy.
Oh yeah. Trump says he wants to end chain migration. The guy who tried to pull the bomb in New York City yesterday, how did he get here? Chain migration.
Exactly.
And then he can bring all of his family here too.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy, man. I don't think I want to say that. I appreciate you're brave. You're a brave guy, bro, and you go out and you do what a lot of people wouldn't do. And I really appreciate that fact. And if you never need security, 30 years of martial arts, I'd be glad to go there with you.
Well, thank you, Rich. And we're all in this together. And I'm just brave because the InfoWars, honestly, the encouragement and support I get from the audience is amazing. And I just love the staff and crew here. And I just want to make Alex proud. I want to make the Info Warriors proud. And we really want to change the world here. That's no joke. We don't claim to be perfect. But we really are trying to make a difference here. Let's go to Sammy, who's also calling in from New Jersey. Go ahead, Sammy.
Hi, it's Amy from New Jersey. Hi, Owen.
Okay, Amy, thank you for calling.
I was trying to get in. I have a few things to say. Firstly, I was trying to call you last week and talk about this Jerusalem thing. There's a saying. I was trying to get. I just want to start with that, and then I'll go into other things. If Israel puts down if Palestinian puts down its arms, there will be peace. If Israel puts down its arms, there will be no Israel. So I want to tell you, tonight is Hanukkah, and every Trump-hating fellow Jew, I'm a Jew for Trump, so every fellow Jew that's a Trump-hating liberal Jew better take their heads and pull them out of their rectums right now, because you were talking about there's a war on Christmas. Guess what? The next war is on Hanukkah and the Jews, because they're going after the Christians, and there will be the Jews next. And that schmucky Schumer better stop it. He is an enemy. He's a capo, like in the Count Auschwitz to me. I view him as a capo leading us to slaughter. He's disgusting. People, you Jews, my fellow Jews, wake your behinds up. I am sick of the liberal crap that's coming out of
Well, yeah, it's ridiculous. They report on all of this violence in the Middle East that happens after Trump makes his speech about Jerusalem, but it's funny because they never reported on that before. You know that was going on before, right? That's not new. Like, they've been bombing and fighting each other for years now, so why do they report on it after Trump makes that statement? Oh, yeah, because they want to blame him.
Listen, I want to tell you something. My husband, he's on Facebook. Thank God he woke me up to what's going on, because his grandfather was in Buchenwald. And thank God, because his grandfather would have told us today that he sees the same stuff going on. And the other thing is, on Facebook, he has a friend that's a Rutgers Jewish professor who's they call Trump Hitler. Jewish people calling our president Hitler. That is...
Yeah, and you know what's funny? If these crazy liberals had their way, I think they would actually be jailing white people.
Absolutely. So I just want everybody, please wake up. They're coming for everybody next. If you don't put your foot down, and I want a Hanukkah miracle, for everybody here, because look what happened yesterday in New York City. I have friends that live around there. It's terrible.
Well, and we just had the attack of the guy who hopped on the curb and ran people over on the bike path. You had this failed attempted at a suicide bombing is what it looks like. I mean, perhaps there was a little bit of a miracle in that, because who knows how many people could have been seriously wounded or even killed had he successfully have detonated that bomb. And, of course, Schumer and de Blasio and Cuomo have done nothing for the safety of New York. They have done nothing for the people of New York City. And if I lived in New York City, I would be so ticked off right now at the leadership in New York, I wouldn't even be able to handle it. What you have in California and New York right now is such an abomination to common sense and just righteousness and dignity and just basic protecting your constituency. It's absurd what's happening in New York and California. And then they tax their people. They tax their people into poverty. They destroy the inner cities. And then they tell you they care about you, and they do nothing for you. I'm sorry. Thank you so much for the call, Sam. I don't know how these people get elected. Oh, wait, yeah, I do. Illegal votes. That's why they care about the non-citizens. That's why they want the sanctuary cities. That's why they want the open borders. That's why they want the chain migration. They don't give a damn about these people. They just want their vote, and they know they couldn't win an election without it. Kevin in West Virginia, how are your eardrums?
Hey, Mr. Owen, I'm glad that you're safe from Saturday and, you know, nothing actually happened to you. One of the things I wanted to talk to you about, well, there was a couple, but the first one was the sexual allegation. I'm not saying that you're wrong, but I'm seeing another perspective. And what I'm looking at is look at the Democrat on the Democratic side, the ones that have went down with the sexual allegation. I believe somebody is clearing the competition for her 2020 run.
I would disagree with that, and I'm not sure if you are meaning Kamala Harris or Michelle Obama with that. The only reason I disagree with that is because if you look at the way... basically what they're doing here is they're clearing out the seats that they feel like they can't lose. Like a Franken in Minnesota, you know, a Conyers, they feel like they can win those seats back, no problem, or Conyers can just... I guess, insert his son in there, you know, whatever he thinks he can do with that. So, and I mean, it's not like the big names have really fallen here. I mean, no, Conyers running for president? No. A Franken running for president? Yeah, I just don't really see that either. So it's an interesting angle. I just don't really see that as the case. Again, I think that this is all about just creating the environment to accuse Trump again and then hope it sticks the second time around. Thank you for the call, Kevin. Let's go to John calling in from San Diego. You got 60 seconds, John. Go ahead.
Yeah, the Western civilization where we glorify sex on the media and make everyone walk around and next to nothing. And then we wonder why the grown men in this culture are all screwed up sexually.
And you know what? And just to expand on that point, everyone's sitting here virtue signaling like we're getting rid of the trash and the scum in Hollywood. I'm sorry, Hollywood is still selling sex like it's their job.
And also, but we're never going to be well as a society until we demand the truth, namely LennonMurderTruth.com, and put Stephen King away for killing John Lennon.
So you want the truth about John Lennon's murder?
Don't put Stephen King away for killing John Lennon in a government plot, and we're a sick country, generally.
Well, look, again, that's why it's so fake to me. This is the same industry that just sells pornography and sex and all this stuff and you know, objectification of women and trying to virtue signal to us. Give me a break. Well, that's beautiful Christmas music you're hearing right there.
In the lane, snow's glistening.
Yeah, just give me that a little bit.
Sight, oh, we're happy tonight, walking in a winter wonderland. Gone away is a bluebird here to stay.
But if you're on a college campus in America, universities are striving for a Christmas-free campus. This is from Campus Reform. Yeah, there's another story here. Here it is. This is from National Review. University use end of fiscal year party instead of holiday party in order to be inclusive. Man. Oh, man. Can you imagine if that, honestly, you know what? I just thank the good Lord. Thank God that I did not fall victim to this liberal brainwashing. Thank God that the listeners of the Alex Jones Show and Infowars.com/show do not fall victim to the liberal indoctrination. So get rid of Christmas, even though that's our tradition, that's our culture, and Christians and Catholics and those group of people that celebrate Christmas as part of their religious tradition aren't blowing people up in the name of their religion, get rid of Christmas and then move over Islamophobes because we're bringing the Muslims in here, and don't say anything bad about it or you're a racist, even though Islam is not a race. So these people are all, you know what? They're Christmasists. So we've got university Christmasists that want to ban Christmas, but if you say anything negative about someone wearing a burqa, you're probably going to get suspended. Or you go on the student radio and you say the word tranny, you're probably going to get suspended. Or you use the wrong pronoun and you call a transgender person a he or she when they may not know what they are that day, you're going to be suspended. So, I mean, hey, send your kids to college. Let's go to Lisa in Texas. She says she used to work for the police. She wants to talk about the hashtag Me Too movement. It's the Time Person of the Year, even though if it wasn't for Trump, the Me Too movement would have never happened. The Me Too movement is the Time Person of the Year. And even though the leader of it said she's a nasty woman happily in front of 1 million people. Go ahead, Lisa.
Yeah, I want to make a statement about this. Some people can believe me or not. They can disagree. I really don't care at this point because I'm sick of this hashtag Me Too crap. Okay, so, yeah, the Weinstein, the pedo-dem type libtard people that started all this crap in the 90s with the Clintons, they caused this false hashtag Me Too campaign that they're using on Trump now. Okay, so you remember back in the 2016 election, the whole locker room talk saying that, Trump had to come out and say, well, it's true. Men and women both do it, okay? If you think for 1 second that women don't talk about men's packages or how they can get back at men for blaming them on false rape and sexual assault, you're wrong. I worked as a dispatcher for 3 police departments and 1 sheriff's department. I took calls from women who did this as a stunt and made false accusations to get back at most men. And look, it's the last 2 generations that's been following the Hollywood people that you have to look at in a certain way because they did this. They wanted women to look a certain way, to act a certain way, and women didn't go against this because they wanted to be stars, okay?
Yeah, they knew what they were getting into.
They're making it hard. Yeah, now they're making it hard for good, knowledgeable, smart women to get a man because we're supposed to think that all men are pigs.
But let's go one step further with this. Not only are they scorching the earth of normal interactions between men or women, which, maybe it gets inappropriate, maybe it doesn't. Okay, then you can raise awareness. But we can't even have a real conversation about this anymore. You can't even bring up the point you just had anymore, or you're considered insensitive. Or I remember, see, this is the strangest thing about it to me. I had multiple times growing up where there were girls that, let's just say, they got more inebriated than they expected and they did things that they regretted with boys, and then in turn, in the stage of regret, started making accusations. A few of them even went to the police with these accusations that were nothing more than regrets. Okay, so there's that angle, but where is that being discussed? Where is the angle that you just got brought up being discussed where women will give false accusations in order to get back at a man? We're not even allowed to have that discussion now because the environment that they've created is so politically charged and now so PC, where if you doubt any of these women, you're a bigot, you hate women. And, and again, this whole locker room talk thing, yes, probably men have more, let's just say, dirty mouths than women. But don't sit here and act for 1 second like there's women out there that don't talk like that too. I mean, give me a break.
They're all over the country.
How about Amy Schumer? How about Amy Schumer? How about Lena Dunham? How about Chelsea Handler? These are some of the most foul-mouthed women on television.
Pigs. Listen, let me make one last statement. Women on this whole Roy Moore thing, and now they're coming back out on Trump, they're not saying these things like, oh, we were silent because we were scared. There has been a system in place for years. Trust me, I took the phone calls. I made the reports. I helped the police. You could file an actual complaint on any case. This is all crazy Democratic Hollywood politics in play to try to take Trump out of office, because if you were truly assaulted or raped or harassed by a man or a woman, depending on which way you go, which I don't care, they wanted a man or a woman with money so that they could go out, get their plastic surgery, wear their hair the way they wanted to, get their high-priced clothes, and have their own affairs. That's plain and simple.
Now, do you believe when you were working with the police that you dealt with cases where women were trying to fabricate charges against men for assault or rape?
Yes. Yes, they would actually say it. Oh, I'm just, he made me mad, so I'm just trying to, get back at him.
Wow. Now let me ask you this, because, look, as a man, I want some legal protection for this, and I would even say to protect real victims of sexual assault that this needs to be instituted into our judicial system, where if you're a woman and you make a false accusation against a man for sexual assault or whatever it is, and it's deliberately false, they then need the same punishment that the man would have had if it were true. What do you think about that?
I actually agree with you on that. But really, I don't know where we're going to start. I mean, we have to bow down to the liberal ideologies nowadays and be politically correct. When I'll give you another example, my daughter goes to college, and Muslim women in her same program that she's taking in college, they get free college. We're struggling to pay her tuition.
And just a real quick comment on that college stuff, too. Not only what you're saying is accurate, I met a lot of people from Muslim countries that weren't really practicing Muslims. The females didn't wear the hijab and all that stuff. But the ones that do are some of the most empowered people by the university. They walk around like they own the place. They walk around like they're untouchable. And you know why that is? Because that's how the university treats them. So what Lisa was saying was right. We'll be right back. All right. So right before I'm coming in here, I'm seeing that there's Democrats on the Hill that are now calling for a special counsel into the accusations made against Trump. Let's say Trump is the abominable snowman. Let's launch a special counsel. Trump's the Easter Bunny. Let's launch a special counsel. Oh my gosh, there it is. Wow. 59 female lawmakers call for oversight probe into sexual allegations against Trump. Now, I'm not sure if that means, I'm not sure what that means. I can only make assumptions, but. So one of the crew members here was making a point about filing false police reports and how that already exists, where if you file a false police report, you can get arrested. But here's the difference. That's not how these cases are handled, where if you make a charge against someone for rape or assault and you get proved guilty, they don't look at that as filing a false report. It's all about a philosophy. And so the system looks at that individual that filed the charges and said, sorry, your philosophy was wrong, or sorry, what you thought was sexual assault simply wasn't. So they don't view it as an intentional case, an intentionally fabricated case, and there's no follow-up investigation into that. That's just case closed. So that's the real difference here. If you get charged with filing a false police report, that's like you rob your own liquor store and then you call the cops and say your liquor store got robbed, and then they see that all the bottles are in your truck. Those are the type of things that gets into filing a false police report. But if you look at cases with like hockey players like Patrick Kane, or what's going on with Nelly right now, they get charged with these sexual assault things, and they're saying the whole time it's not true, it's fabricated. Who knows the motive behind it? Maybe the woman just wants fame. Maybe she just wants money. Oh, I'm sure that never happens. So see, they don't look into the motive there. They just say, oh, sorry, we looked at the case. You just didn't have a case. Sorry, nice try. They don't come back and say, were you intentionally charging this man with false accusations? And then by the time the litigation is finished, the men defending themselves are so worn out with the case, they're just like, just get it out of my sight. I don't even want to deal with it. So that's kind of the difference there. But Now you have lawmakers calling for a special counsel to investigate the Trump claims. So now we have to pay for the removal of our president. So now we, the people, are spending millions and millions of dollars for hush funds so that these sexual allegations against members of our government get silenced and brushed under the rug. How many of those are fake? We don't even get to know about that. How about that? You could have women knowing about this system, making these accusations, and then we just have to pay to silence them. I mean, this is so messed up, man. Again, and we wouldn't even know about all of this swamp activity if it wasn't for Trump getting elected. How about that? Let's go to Eddie, calling in from Arizona. Eddie disagrees with me. Go ahead, Eddie.
Well, I want to break this down. I want to have a discussion with you. I want to make some key points. You can have your staff right now look up. Mueller was not even eligible to be the FBI director when he met with Trump. It's a 10-year term by law. He was already given a 2-year extension. That's why I believe Mueller may be in on this. The recusal of Sessions was designed to give credibility to the case that is being run by.
Hold on, just pause it real quick. So you're of the side of things that you think Mueller is actually pretending to be going after Trump, but he's actually working with Trump.
Yes, and here's why. He wasn't even eligible. Have your guys look it up. There's a law. You can only have a 10-year thing. He was already given a 2-year extension. Number two, if Sessions had to recuse himself, if he was the one to come up with all the data against Hillary, it would have been looked slanted and partisan. This is a Trump 7D chess wizard time traveler deal, bro. It's crazy. But listen.
But he would have to be blackmailing Mueller into that because Mueller's already got the skeletons in his closet.
Yes, but I think he was given a choice. If you watch Christopher Wray, the new FBI director, before the House Judiciary Committee last week,
I watched it.
It tells you the whole story right there, buddy. They kept asking him about the credibility. No one trusts the FBI. No one trusts the DOJ. If you were kidnapped, would you have your wife talk to the FBI? I would.
Yeah, but what do you expect Wray to do? Ray's not going to throw his FBI under the bus. I mean, he runs the FBI now. He's not going to slander the FBI.
And people, they have no credibility, and he kept deferring to the Inspector General's parallel investigation since January that no one even really knew about until a few weeks ago, and that is the reason we're getting all these nuggets and bombshells dropped about all the information. No one would have known about all of this collusion. We just learned yesterday about the or his wife working for Fusion GPS.
But that wasn't Mueller, though. Mueller, what is Mueller? Look, I'm not disagreeing with you. Well, I actually do disagree with you, but I'm not saying you're inherently wrong. But what is Mueller actually produced, though? I mean, the Orr thing, that wasn't produced by Mueller, was it?
No, but what I'm saying is I think that's the Inspector General who's been running a parallel investigation. Here's the deal. I think Mueller was sat down with Trump. That there was no possible way he could become the FBI director. It's against the law. I think he sat down with Trump and said, listen, you're mixed up in this. You can be the guy to bring back the respectability of the FBI and the DOJ, or you can go down as a criminal and a traitor to the country. Make your choice. And I think he chose this way, and I think the whole thing is to give credibility to the final information. We all know they haven't even talked about the Iran
So I see what you're saying. Okay, so not saying I agree with you, but you could be right. So Trump creates this scenario where they're so heavily invested in Mueller. They are the ones that have put all their eggs in Mueller's basket, and then the Trump base hates Mueller, can't stand Mueller. They think Mueller's out to get Trump. So then when the moment of truth happens, you have this diametrically opposed reality that forces them to accept what Mueller's saying. And you think that's what Trump's doing?
They can't deny it. Remember how they hated Sessions, and then Sessions recused himself. They're like, you better not fire Jeff Sessions. There's going to be heck to pay, boy. Well, that whole thing was a scam. I think Sessions is in on it. Honestly, I think this is some crazy thing because if you remember that testimony, it came out specifically. The congressman from Florida said, asked the FBI, well, you do know you have all of Hillary Clinton's emails backed up on the cloud. Why did you hide this? And you have the device. And Ray just said, I cannot refer to that. That's
I think you're talking about Matt Gaetz. And yes, there have been other people that have answered the same or have been asked the same question that have had to say the same things like, well, I can't talk about an ongoing investigation. And you kind of it kind of hits you and you're like, oh, there's another investigation going on here. So I agree with you in the sense that I do think there's some stuff going on behind closed doors. I do think that Trump has some other pieces set up here where he plays the 60 wizard chess that we like to call it or whatever. I'm not totally sold on the Mueller thing yet, but let's just say the door's not locked on that, and I think that there could be some truth to that, but only time will tell. Eddie, thank you so much for the time. Great conversation. Let's go to Josh now. Also wants to talk about the Russian investigation. Go ahead, Josh.
Hi, Owen. Thanks for taking my call. So yeah, that was a really interesting caller on that last one. But so we know for sure that the DOJ and the FBI, through working in contact with Fusion GPS, that we're certainly corrupt. And we've got Bruce Orr, we've got Peter Strzok, just clear swamp creatures. But now also we know that the judge who was presiding over the Mike Flynn case had to recuse himself, Judge Rudolph Contreras. And it turns out this judge who was presiding over the Mike Flynn case is one of the few judges that sits on the FISA court. So it could very well be possible that the same judge who was presiding over the Mike Flynn case signed off on the FISA warrant that was probably authorized using the dossier gathered by Fusion GPS.
Right. And the other interesting ripple that goes back to the previous caller, Eddie, we've kind of made the connections with all the collusion to go after Trump with the fake Russian probe, and Mueller's not actually in that web. It's the Orrs, it's the Obamas, it's the Clintons and the DNC. This is crazy. It's the InfoWars Christmas Spectacular Extravaganza, and it's a live 34-hour broadcast next Monday. And you know where to go to find that, Infowars.com/show. But of course, this week is Christmas week at InfoWarsStore.com. And what does that mean? Big savings, big specials, and big sales for you at InfoWarsStore.com. Let's just take a look at some of these big discounts we have right now for Christmas week at InfoWarsStore.com. You've got Brain Force, 50% off. You've got Silver Bullet, 67% off. You've got Super Male Vitality, 50% off. You've got the entire line of Super Blue fluoride-free products. That's the toothpaste. That's the mouthwash. 50% off. How about 50% off the new product, Alpha Power, at InfoWarsStore.com. Another new product we have is also 50% off. That's the real Red Pill at InfoWarsStore.com. DNA Force is currently 33% off. Survival Shield, 50% off. Knockout, 50% off. Prostagard, 50% off. Vitamin Mineral Fusion, 50% off. Here's a big one. InfoWars Life Select Storable Food, 50% off. InfoWars Life Select Storable Food, 50% off. Now, that's already big savings. And, of course, this is insurance you can eat in case of a disaster, whether it be an earthquake, power outage, what have you. And it's 50% off. That's big savings. But then, on top of that, free shipping store-wide. So now you're talking hundreds of dollars of savings, perhaps even thousands with some of those bigger select storable food packages we have. Just huge savings. And if you're on the fence about storable food, now is the time. Take advantage of Christmas week at InfoWarsStore.com. 50% off storable food, 50% off emergency food supplies, and free shipping store-wide. So no matter how many products you get, no matter how big they are, if they're some of our bigger products, such as the air filters or the water filters, which are a necessity for your home, 50% off, store-wide free shipping. And don't forget now, a good Christmas gift idea, the InfoWars Store e-gift card. The InfoWars Store e-gift card, a great opportunity to let people know about Infowars.com and InfoWarsStore.com, all of the great supplements we have there. It comes in $25, $50, $100, or $150. That's the InfoWars Store e-gift card. So that way, if you're not sure what somebody might like for Christmas on our website, you just give them that gift card, and then they can go ahead and take advantage for themselves. And right now, with the 50% off, it seems like half the store, and then the free shipping store-wide. Now is the time. Maybe you want to give a Christmas gift early at InfoWarsStore.com during Christmas week. And, of course, the Christmas Spectacular Extravaganza is next Monday, 34-hour live broadcast. Tonight, we have extended live coverage as well. Live coverage of the Alabama State Senate race. Alex Jones will be back in the big seat right here at about 6 p.m. at Infowars.com/show. So spread that link. We're going to be covering the Alabama Senate race live. Roy Moore versus Doug Jones. Don't tune in to the fake news media, CNN, MSNBC, for your coverage of the election results tonight. Go to Infowars.com/show. Spread those links and help us trump the fake news. Let's just go back out to the phone lines here. We've got them loaded up. We've got Sam calling in from Mexico, who's been holding the longest. Go ahead, Sam.
Oh, and I am loving the Super Blue.
Squeaky clean teeth.
Yeah, the whole industry is going to have to follow your science as this comes out more and more.
Yeah, we really do groundbreaking products. We had a groundbreaking product in DNA Force that the market's trying to keep up with, and I think they're going to have to do the same thing with Super Blue. I think you're right.
All the fluoride-free toothpastes are actually halogen-free, and I've used them all, and I feel that my teeth are deficient of the halogen, and having the iodine in there, it's never been done before. It's going to change the world.
Yeah, and for someone, I have gum disease that runs in my family, so my gums are typically inflamed. They get inflamed easily. Ever since I started using Super Blue, like, never inflamed anymore. It's incredible.
And there's no saccharin in it either. All these toothpastes have saccharin in them. It's a horrible toxic sweetener. So you guys have done away with that. And, you know, here in Mexico, we can't just rinse out your toothbrush in the faucet water.
Yeah.
So having that colloidal silver really keeps the growth down. You know, your toothbrush doesn't start stinking. It's fantastic.
Wow.
Anybody hasn't tried that, I'd encourage them to. And the first thing I wanted to tell you is that you're right from the Bible that false accusers are to be punished. It's right in Deuteronomy 19. Verse 16 begins to talk about false witnesses. Verse 19 prescribes the penalty, and the penalty for a false witness is the penalty of the crime that they accuse their neighbor of falsely. So whatever crime they accuse them of, the penalty for that, that's what the false witness is supposed to be punished with.
Yeah, and a lot of times you may think it's hard to get down to that and say, well, how can we prove motive that this person was filing these false allegations intentionally to destroy their, whoever they're suing? But as the police officer said, they admit it. If you're that emboldened to file a false report to try to destroy someone's life, you're probably bold enough to tell someone too. And that's basically what that police officer was saying.
Yeah, we need to bring people down for that. And I'm glad it's starting to happen. This is one of the great things that's happening in our country right now. And under Trump, we're getting rid of a lot of judges. Trump's fired so many judges that were really not square.
And appointing conservatives to those seats too.
Yeah, conservatives and Christians and people that aren't afraid to
common sense people.
Bible. Common sense people, for sure. Next thing, if we could move to another point, I wanted to respond. There was a preacher came on the other day, and I do preach gospel, Owen. I'm actually in Mexico doing that right now. It's why I live here. I travel the world from my base in Chihuahua, Mexico, and heal the sick, cast out devils, and preach Jesus. But a preacher came on and really scolded Alex the other day, and that guy was out of line. And he was talking about the pre-tribulation rapture, which Alex is against. And I got to say that Alex's position is well within historical orthodoxy, for first. And second, a lot of times the focus on what's called the Great Tribulation, or the time of Jacob's trouble in the Bible, is a convenient segue to get away from the thought of regular tribulation. There are more people in slavery, and more Christians and Jews are being killed around the world.
Yeah, exactly. Let's be perfectly clear about this. All the studies, all the data's out now. Christians are the most targeted group for hate crimes in the world. That's the stats are out about that. That's undeniable. They'll try to say it's Muslims. That's not true. And if it was Muslims, it would be by other Muslims. But as far as, the rapture and all that, I mean, who am I to say that I can know for sure, you know, when a rapture is? I mean, I look at what's going on in California, and I'm wondering if they're not experiencing that right now. I mean, when you've got murderers that can get away with it, you've got fires burning down half of L.A., you've got Hollywood completely collapsing, you've got the sanctuary cities, you've got the, I mean, it's just out of control. You can't call someone by the wrong pronoun, but you can give someone AIDS knowingly and, you know, infect them. So maybe they're already going through that in California. You know, maybe they're already going through that in Libya, where the slave trade is now back again thanks to Hillary Clinton's policy. So, yeah, you've got that going on. Let's go to Steve, who's actually, oh, and Sam, maybe you need to get up to California. They got some demons up there they need slayed. Thank you for the call, Sam. Let's go to Steve, who's actually calling in from California. Go ahead, Steve.
Hey, hi, Owen. You know, it's Demifornia, not California.
California.
You just tricked. But you know, to get in all this, you know, these illegals being. Well, first, Alex Jones and you, the whole show, even before you were hired, saved my life. I was very sick, getting flu shots. I was a complete zombie. Me and my wife. And I saw this guy named Alex Jones on Conspiracy Theory with Jesse Ventura a few years ago. And I said, well, who's this guy? And I started listening, started watching. Haven't had a flu shot in 5 years, or 6 years, actually. And we've never been sick except for one food poisoning and an overheating incident. And I just want to say thank you for that. And but the other thing is, this thing, California, it's never going to stop. It's these Democrats are fully psycho.
It's unbelievable, man. How do you explain that?
So out of control. Maxine, these people. I mean, I see pictures of Feinstein and her fingers on the trigger of an AK-47 with a 100-pound mag. Very scary. I'm triggered now.
Nancy Pelosi. I mean, do I need to say it? Do I need to say that Nancy Pelosi is a completely brain-dead individual? Do I need to tell you that? All right, Owen Schroyer here, sitting in for Alex on my last stretch of broadcast here as I'm about to pitch it to Mike Cernovich, who's going to be taking over on the other side. But do not forget, of course, the War Room comes up from 3 to 6 weekdays here right after the Alex Jones Show. But then extended coverage, extended broadcast into the night. We are going to be covering the Alabama Senate race, Doug Jones versus Roy Moore. Infowars.com/show. Alex Jones will be hosting that. I'll be back here providing some coverage as well as some other reporters and special guests. So do not forget, tonight, the Alabama Senate race will be covered by Infowars Live. That's where you should go for your election night coverage. Share that link with family and friends. The Alabama Senate race coverage tonight with Alex Jones at Infowars.com/show. Let's go to... Is that Haiti in Colorado? Go ahead, Haiti.
Oh, I'm here. Yes, that's Haiti. All right, I'm talking about the Me Too shenanigans. I'll hurry and try to get through my point real quick. So, first of all, an actual victim of harassment, assault, or abuse of any kind by against a man, woman, or child, anyone that's been in that position knows it's close to impossible to prove when you've actually been victimized. And that's what annoys me so much about all this, is that these are not women. These are jokes. These are cowards. These are less than women. Oh, but they want to play in the big boy ring. But yet when it comes down to it, they don't care about the oppression of men, the oppression of women and children that are actual victims. Mm-hmm. If you don't have a positive race kit, if you don't have actual evidence of harassment, or so it's like, prove it.
Yeah.
Why isn't any other?
Yeah, that's a good point. And a lot of these local jurisdictions don't even do the rape kits. They've had to like pass new legislation to get funding for these rape kits and to get the results of these rape kits to even be released. So that's a whole nother issue. But I'm curious. I don't know if you've had any experience personally, you know, maybe yourself with this or friends or family, but, you know, there again, I'm not trying to be insensitive. I understand that there's cases to be made for both points. In fact, there is truth in the sense that a lot of the times when women are actually, you know, sexually assaulted or whatever, they don't even realize it at the time. And I don't know if that's denial or just that they don't want to go down that road because it never actually got to the physical point of rape or whatever it is, but I remember that there were cases, too, where I had girlfriends that or they weren't my girlfriends, or even where there'd be cases and they'd be like, yeah, a guy did this to me and that. And I'd be like, well, you need to press charges. That's assault. Like, that's not a joke. That's not funny. Like, you were, and they're like, oh, you know, they just don't want to deal with it. So, you know, there is an angle there from both perspectives. But like you were saying, this Me Too movement and this entire thing is a political agenda to remove Trump. It's not about the women. It's not about victims. It's not about oppression. It's not about sexual assault. It's about none of that. It's a 100% political agenda. And it shows you how shallow and pathetic these people are, that they would scorch earth for all of the victims out there that may try to come forward in the future by completely scorching the earth for anyone that may come forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And this new lady that's coming out, it's like, okay, well, just like real victims, why don't you prove it? If she was such a high and mighty feminist that got quote unquote name called, oh my God, then where's her, you know, assault? Where's her harassment? Where did she go to the courts and say, I want a restraining order on this person that I actually cannot get away from? She was in public. Was she kicked off the plane because she was sexually harassed? Did she lose her job? Was she somehow bound up by
and
this?
What type of precedent are they setting now where they say, he called me a name 30 years ago? Oh, assault. Oh. And it's like, what? Oh, yeah, you know, Megyn Kelly came to INFOWARS studio and she might have said a name about me. She may have said something to me. Oh, no, it's ridiculous. So that's fine, though. Scorch earth for all the actual victims that may want to come forward in the future, but they don't come forward against Trump or more, so they don't exist.
We're back. Mike Cernovich. I think we're live right now. Guest hosting for Paul. Paul couldn't make it today, so I'm here. So I don't know what we're going to talk about. We're just going to go on a frolic and adventure in the spirit of Christmas. So the first thing I want to talk about is I just tweeted it out. A lot of people go, Cernovich, you're a conspiracy theorist because you claim the media covers up crimes committed by the Democrats. Well, we now have them admitting it. So a reporter, so-called reporter for MSNBC, Heidi has a hard to pronounce last name, much like mine, Cernovich. So I tweeted out that I have another big sexual harassment story coming out along the lines of John Conyers. So what does Heidi do? Does Heidi say, wow, another bad actor will be exposed? I can't believe it. This is incredible. No, that's not what she does. I'll read to you for those of you listening on the radio. Screen cap is there. This is not fabricated. I swear to you, this is true. Heidi tweets out, Mike Cernovich and Roger Stone increasingly associated with a number of the sexual assault stories coming out of Congress. Now, maybe you don't think you heard that correctly. Let me tell you again. I tweeted out, I'm in possession of a sexual harassment complaint filed against one of Senator Gillibrand's colleagues. Will Senator Gillibrand read the complaint? Heidi tweets out, Mike Cernovich and Roger Stone increasingly associated with the number of sexual assault stories coming out of Congress. I mean, smoking gun, right? Smoking gun evidence that this is why I'm getting the stories. This is why people are coming to me. Because she's supposed to be a feminist. Why does she care if I get the stories? Why does she care if I get the goods on John Conyers and other people, right? Well, they do care because they would never report those stories. The media would never report stories about John Conyers. They would cover it up. So that's why women are not only victimized by these sexual predators in Congress and sexual predators like Bill Clinton, they are victimized by sexual predators within the mainstream media. So we now have one. She was dumb enough to tweet that out. So imagine what they all think. If a mainstream reporter for MSNBC, which, by the way, they rehired a guy who makes rape jokes about kids, so that tells you all you kind of need to know about MSNBC. They're saying, yeah, as Arthur Schwartz tweeted out, are you suggesting that those victims shouldn't be trusted? Checkmate. But you're caught, Heidi. You're caught being another mouthpiece for the sexual predators and Democrats. Who cares? Has anybody ever thought for a minute that the reason I'm getting these big blockbuster stories is because the media has already character assassinated me. I'm sure you've all seen the Photoshop tweets. I'm sure you've all seen the Photoshop things people claim I've written. It's all out there. There has been a coordinated deep state character assassination on me. So what are they going to do now? Try to frame me for a crime? I never leave my house without an alibi, right? When I travel, I'm only around, Big Brother is protecting me right now because I don't ever want to be in public where there aren't cameras around so that they can't frame me, right? So the reason these big stories come to me is because I've been character assassinated. They've called me everything: Nazi, rape apologist, rapist, white supremacist, abuser, hater. I can't even keep track. There's so many different things that they call me. So that's why I'm getting the big stories, because anybody who actually has the courage to stand up against deep state and to stand up against these sexual deviants and sexual predators in Congress, they will destroy your character. They will destroy your reputation. So me, the people know the truth. The people know not to believe any edited videos about me, fabrications, forgeries about me. The people know that. But the mainstream media knows, what do you do? Character assassinate me again? Talk about fake things about me again? Go for it. It's just more publicity for me. More attention for me, more attention for the truth, because I am just a mouthpiece of the people. I'm the mouthpiece of the 150, 200 million people in America who want to make America amazing. They want a great America for everybody, regardless of religion, ideology, skin color. We even want the liberals to succeed, right? We want everybody to win. But that's when I tell you people, and when Alex tells you, and other people tell you, that the media is fabricating things and they're conspiring to silence women who have been victimized by sexual predators and the Democrats. You have them admitting right now. They're admitting, and they're saying, well, don't believe it even if it's true, because consider Cernovich is a bad guy. Oh, no. And that's the beauty of the character assassinations. Because what are they going to say about me? What are they going to say about Alex? What are they going to say about INFOWARS that hasn't already been said? Right? So there is no character to assassinate. They've already assassinated us, and they character assassinate us every day. I call it a Tuesday. Like, oh, wow, media hit pieces on me. Well, this must be a Tuesday, or this must be a day that ends on Y. But anybody else in the media, they can frame character assassinate. So I'm just really glad now the media is being honest, though, and the media is saying, you know what? We are going to cover up the rape. We are going to cover up the pedophilia. We're going to cover up the sexual harassment by Democrats. We're going to cover it all up because all that matters is protecting Democrat sexual predators like Bill Clinton, the rapist. Speaking of which, Senator Gillibrand or Gillibrar, Rock of Gibraltar, maybe. She's got a rock head, so Senator Rock of Gibraltar is saying that she has been slut-shamed by President Donald Trump. Slut-shamed. Senator Warren goes, how dare Donald Trump slut-shame Senator Gillibrand? And I thought, that's a weird thing, right? That's really weird. She's being slut-shamed. Trump never called her a slut. Trump said she'll do anything for a campaign thing, which he said about men. Trump treats women the same way he treats men, which is to say, if he doesn't like you, he's kind of mean. If you're on Trump's bad side, man or woman, you're going to, be in for quite a ride. And by ride, I'm not making any kind of connotation. But why is she with Senator Gillibrand, with Harvey Weinstein? So for those of you listening at home, we're looking at a couple pictures of Senator Gillibrand with Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein's leaning into her, hugging her. She's looking on, smiling. She's looking on adoringly. What's going on here? What is she covering up? What did she know about Harvey Weinstein? When did she know it? Did they ever date? This is a fair question to ask, and the reason why is Elizabeth Warren claimed that Trump was slut-shaming Senator Gillibrand. So why? But Trump never said she was a slut. Trump just said she would do anything for a campaign contribution. Trump said the same thing about the Attorney General Schneiderman. or I don't know how to say these people's names. That's the thing. The reason I do such great journalism is I'm not afraid of any of these people because I don't even know who they are. To me, they're just like, I don't know how to say their names. I don't watch cable news. I don't, because that's all lies. I only break real news, and I don't follow along with the liars say. So I don't even know how to say Attorney General, I don't know, Schinderman. I don't know. Don't care. They're just losers to me. But here's what Trump said. Why did lightweight AG Schinderman come to my office on numerous occasions begging for campaign contributions? So he said it before. Trump has said Mitt Romney went on his knees to beg. Remember that? So Trump had said Mitt Romney came to my office and got on his knees and begged me. Well, nobody claimed that was like homophobic. Nobody claimed that was sexist, right? So that's what they do is, and I'm the same way. I've been mean. If I'm mean to you, I'm mean to everybody. But what they do is they don't show you being me being mean to other people. They just go, oh, wow, here's Cernovich being mean to a woman. Well, yeah, but here's 10 times I'm mean to a man. I'm meaner than men to a woman. So that's what they do with Trump also. That's the game. They pretend like the only time he's ever mean to somebody, she's a woman. But I want to know, why did Elizabeth Warren claim that Trump was slut-shaming her? And why is Senator Gillibrand with Harvey Weinstein? What were they doing? Who knows? After break, we'll talk a little bit more about this and more. Facebook.com/Mike Cernovich. So much to talk about. They brought me in last minute. So I was out at the errands running the banks. But you know what? There's no time off from the INFOWARS. The deep state, they're not taking a day off. George Soros ain't taking a day off. George Soros is funding fake documentaries into fake sexual harassment stuff. He is also funding a super PAC to take on Roy Moore and Doug Jones. So Soros is supporting Roy Moore's opponent. So Politico broke this story. Secret super PAC backing Jones in Alabama. So they don't take a day off. So we can't take a day off either from the INFOWARS. So even if I'm at the bank, depositing checks, doesn't matter. We got to get up and we got the INFOWARS. So what do we talk about? I don't know, but I just stalled for like 30 seconds. You just learned in real time. If you ever into a public speaking event and you know what you're going to talk about, just talk about how you don't know what you're going to talk about and what brought you there. And then suddenly you've talked about something. Meta, we have the mindset tricks for you all day. But we do kind of want to talk about Jim Acosta because he's fake. And he's always fake, and he's always interrupting Sarah Huckabee Sanders, who's a very amazing, strong, independent woman. Like the creepy sexist that he is, Jim Acosta interrupts her. So let's go and take a ride through Jim Acosta's history. Let's look at Jim Acosta at CNN being very fake news. Who remembers the very tragic shooting where Scalise and others were the victims of a left-wing domestic terrorist who had been radicalized by the mainstream media? We all remember the Scalise shooting. So here's what Jim Acosta tweeted on June 14th, 2017. White House official on hospital visit, quote, President Trump did not meet with Scalise. It did not go into the room where Scalise is being tweeted, unquote. So I'm going to read that to you again. This is what Jim Acosta tweeted. It got over 2,000 retweets. White House official on hospital visit. President Trump did not meet with Scalise and did not go into the room where Scalise is being treated. Well, let's click over to that Medium.com article where I reported on this. Well, that was fake because Trump did visit it. So you know what Jim Acosta did when he was caught spreading fake news? Did he apologize? Did he say, well, I got it wrong? No, he made up a source. He said that he got the story from the White House press pool. So here's what he did. Then Jim Acosta said in a later tweet, well, we got to scroll down in the article, I think it's in. He goes, well, I got the story from the White House press pool, right? He goes, well, the White House press pool gave it. So you can see other people calling him out because his original tweet did not say he got it from the White House press pool, right? His original tweet said he got this information from a White House official. And then later when he was called out for being fake news, he goes, oh, no, that was the press pool. Oh, my God, you know, it's not my fault. Well, wait a minute, Jim. Wait a minute, Jim. If you got the story from the press pool, then why did your tweet say White House official? See, he fabricated a source. He claimed that a White House official gave him this quote, and then when that turned out to be fake news, he goes, well, I mean, it was an error in the White House press pool. That's how dishonest these people are. Lie after lie after lie after lie. And when they're caught lying, they go, oh, well, it wasn't my fault that I fabricated a source. Rather, I just relied on the White House press pool. But wait a minute. If he was quoting from the White House press pool, why didn't he say, per White House press pool, Trump didn't visit Scalise? He wanted to seem like Mr. Big Shot. He wanted to seem like he had the kind of sources Mike Cernovich has. Well, I can tell you, Jim Acosta does not have the kind of sources Mike Cernovich has in the White House. The only person working today in media who has more White House sources than I have is Maggie Haberman. Maggie Haberman has the most White House sources of anybody in journalism, then me. And then there's like a huge gap. People like Jim Acosta, he's not even top 10. Jim Acosta is not even like top 25. He doesn't have any source. All he can do is go in there and ask his little, Sarah, you call this fake news. We're butthurt. We're butthurt that you call this fake news today. We're going to cry. You know, I can't believe it. You call this fake news. You're so mean. You're bullying me. You're bullying me, Jim Acosta. And then they call her sexless names. And then there's another guy. He's completely unhinged. Brian something or other. There's a guy named Brian. He works for Playboy. And he's always attacking, in a very sexist way, attacking Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Well, we caught him on video attacking me, physically initiating violence against me, such that he came. So I did a White House press briefing. I don't know if we have the video or if the video is good enough. But when I was reporting for the White House, I told the White House press people that they were endorsing violence, endorsing Antifa. And then I walked out minding my own business. And this guy, Brian, follows me out. And he starts putting his hands in my face. He almost poked my eye out. So he's jabbing his big sausage fingers into my face. He smells bad. He has bad breath. Just a very not clean person. Just a very dirty, sort of nasty person. You don't ever want to be too close to him. And he's jabbing at me and attacking me and everything like that. So I was like, man, this guy, he's trying to physically attack me. We were on the White House grounds. We were literally on White House grounds. Yeah, Brian Karam. So maybe if you run a search on my Twitter, here, I'll see if I can find the video. I'll top it out. But maybe if you can find that on my Twitter, I'll look for it. So Brian came in and attacked me. And then I realized that what he was doing is that he was trying to frame me for assault, because that's what they do. They can't actually get me on anything real because it's all fake. So he was trying to frame me for assault. So I just retweeted it. CNN hires Cernovich's stalker, Brian Karam, as on-air contributor. So you can see in the screen captures that I have, and of course on the video that I have, if you click over the Medium, we can find the video. See how his finger, we'll zoom in on that image at the Medium article. You see how he has his finger right in my face there? And you see how I'm just being very respectful, being very, guerrilla mindset, very calm and composed, because I knew he was trying to frame me for a crime. So here's me. I'm walking out, and here he is. Look at that right there. We'll pause that. Those of you who are listening in at home, I'm standing there very respectful, very dignified, in a brand new custom Hugo Boss suit, being very, very respectful of the White House. This guy comes out. He didn't even comb his hair. He has on shades. He's trying to look like a cool guy. And his finger is within inches of my face, and he's trying to assault me because he wanted to frame me. So we'll talk about this more in the next segment because this is important. We'll have the video ready. They're trying to frame me in real time on White House grounds. That's what they'll do. The media, if they can't do a hit piece and it fails, they will frame you for assault. So this is very important because this person is now on CNN, which, as we know, is very fake news. So we're going to be back after the break. In the meantime, you can always find me at facebook.com/Mike Cernovich, Can't wait to come back and talk to you more. Mike Cernovich, Facebook.com/Mike Cernovich. Thank you again for supporting the InfoWars. As always, we value your support. And as always, without you, we are nothing. So we want to talk a little bit about some of these great product specials, because without you, again, that's what funds this operation. Hold on, sorry, I just got a phone call. In real time, like I said, those of you, a lot of people like to make fun of the production value, but this is real journalism. This is real news. Sources are coming in, documents are coming in. It's chaos and carnage every day. God bless all of you who support us, but Brain Force is 50% off plus free shipping. There is a Survival Shield that's 50% off. A lot of big sales going on. And remember, when you support the InfoWars and you improve your own health, you're also improving the health of the country by ensuring that you get the best news and the best information. So in the last segment, we talked a little bit about the violence in the White House press correspondence room. So we have a video, but we actually can't play the audio because the language is so foul and so vile. Not by me, by the way. I used to cuss a lot, and I just realized that was a very immature thing to do, so I don't do that anymore. But we were on White House grounds. So let's look at the video, and I'll tell you what's going on and who this person is. So there's a guy named Brian Karam, and he works for CNN. I was in the White House, so you can see me pause there for a minute. I was carrying a book bag when he runs at me to attack me and to try to frame me for a crime. So I was leaving. I went to a White House press briefing and did journalism, as I often do. And then I told the White House correspondents, I go, you people have never asked anybody to disavow Antifa. Why is that? And I was very polite, very civil. And then I left to be, very, very, very conscientious human being. So I'm walking out, and this guy stalks me, runs me down when I'm just minding my own business. So let's go back to the clip. So he runs me down. You can see me put my book bag down to be very respectful. And I knew right away that what he was doing was he was trying to frame me for assault. That's what he was trying to do. So he's trying to look at him, put his finger in my face, right? He's making very violent gestures. And I'm there just being very polite, very civil. I looked away, and then I went to, because sometimes I talk with my hands. And then I realized, oh, I know what this guy's doing. He's framing me for assault. He's getting in my face. He's going to put his hand in my eyes, try to poke my eyes out. So then what I did was I put my hands behind my back like in a parade rest position in the military, because I realized I'm being framed in real time. This is what the fake news media does. In real time, they'll frame you. We were on the White House grounds. Now, this man or woman or whatever he is, gender non-binary, I don't ever assume genders, should never be allowed back in the White House press briefing room, because this is a very violent man. This is a very unhinged man. This is a very unstable person. And again, we can't play you the audio because he's cussing so much that you can't air it on radio. He's cursing and being violent and trying to attack me, trying to frame me for an attack, hoping, because I'll tell you what, in real life, if we're not on the White House press briefing grounds and you put your hand in my face close enough to poke my eye out, let's just say don't do that. Let's just say if we're not on the White House if we're not on the White House grounds, you should not push your finger close enough to poke my eye out. You should not assault me, because that will end quite differently than this video ended. But I knew he was trying to frame me, and I knew, and this is what they do. So when they can't make up sources, so you can watch me in the video, I'm on the left and I'm just sort of shrugging my shoulders, standing very respectful, looking the way a journalist should look, right? Respecting the office of the White House. I mean, look at this guy and then look at me. And this guy, CNN promoted him when he attacked me, because CNN, they hate me so much that when they actually watched that video, they said, this is amazing. We're glad that you went after Cernovich. But let's pause it and let's just compare him. There he is. Look at that finger within 1 inch of my face. He could have easily poked my eye out. So on the left-hand side is somebody who says, I respect journalism. I respect the office of the White House. I respect the office of the presidency. So I showed up, proper attire, suit and tie, very good posture, very dignified, as the office of the president deserved to be dignified with. Brian on the right very sloppy. His clothes don't fit. He didn't comb his hair. He has some sunglasses he got from the gas station, some ugly goatee, really bad body odor, really, really stinky person, very oily skin, doesn't wash his face, doesn't exfoliate, doesn't take care of himself, doesn't take pride in himself. So he comes out to attack me. Well, this is CNN's hero now. They go, Trump's media war, reporter confronts White House spokesperson over fake news. Does this person on the right, Brian Karem, does that look like a reporter? Does that look like a journalist who belongs in the White House when he's attacking me, poking his finger at me, trying to assault me, trying to bait me? Because under the law, I'll just tell those of you listening at home, I am an attorney. Under the law, if you come into my face and you start putting your hands in my face like that, that is a physical threat. And I could have punched him. I could have grabbed him. I could have done very legal means to defend myself. But I knew that he was trying to frame me. And then he would have had his little media buddies fabricate evidence and edit the video to make it look like what they would do is they would have ignored him attacking me. And they just would have shown me grabbing him and, body slamming his gross body. But then again, he's so dirty. I mean, just look at this person. He's not clean. He doesn't shower before he goes to the White House. This is a CNN contributor now. That is what CNN endorses. That is the caliber of person CNN has on their show and that they welcome and they have to go to the White House. That's who they call a reporter, even though he's very violent, very unhinged. I mean, just look at him. Every time you look at him, you can tell that there's just something really not good going on inside there. That's a CNN reporter right there. Not the person on the left, the very dignified person who respects the office of the presidency. Don't ever think that because I wear gym clothes a lot and go to the gym and hike and can be a little bit goofy and put on a show, don't ever think the live stream Mike Cernovich is the only Mike Cernovich out there. Scott Pelley made that mistake on 60 Minutes. They think because I show up and kind of have a lot of fun on the live streams and banter, don't ever think that's all I have. So when I go in the White House, if you show this picture to students, if you just screen cap the video of Mike Cernovich and Brian Karem, and you said, hey, students, which guy is unhinged and is a misogynist and is a dangerous person, and which guy is a White House reporter, which guy is a national security reporter, which man is the journalist in this picture, and which person is a very creepy stalker, harasser, kind of shady kind of guy. You show that picture, 99 out of 100 people are going to say, well, the man on the left is the reporter. The man on the right, how was he even allowed in the White House? How was his press credentials not pulled? How was it that he was not issued a letter of censure from the White House Correspondents Association? But that's where we live in this upside down fake news media world, where according to the fake news, Brian is the real journalist, even though he's never broken a big story, and certainly not a story at the level of John Conyers. And then they say the guy on the left, the guy in the suit, the person who dresses for the office is respectful, very, very civil. They would say that guy is a fake news guy. So that tells you, if you want to understand the media, whoever the media tells you is the bad guy is the good guy. And whoever tells you the good guy is the bad guy, right? That's just the way it is. Whoever they say is the reporter is the fake news guy. Whoever they call fake news is real news, and that video definitely shows it. So I know we did kind of a longer segment on just this incident, but the incident is so important because it's a microcosm of what we deal with every day. This guy was caught on air being violent, being unhinged, being unstable, committing assault, trying to bait me, trying to frame me for defending myself. And that's the guy CNN has on air. The person who breaks the John Conyers story, that's the person CNN calls fake news. That's why you can't trust anything you see, especially if it's on CNN. You know you can't trust it. I'll be back for one last segment here in a few minutes. Thanks again. If you haven't heard of me before, my name's Mike Cernovich. You can find me at facebook.com/Mike Cernovich. We're back with the final segment. I was actually on break running down a source. So for those of you who kind of want a behind-the-scenes look at journalism and media, I'm sitting on potentially the biggest story of the year, bigger than John Conyers, way bigger. But you got to check this stuff out. You have to fact check everything. You have to make sure Everybody is involved who says it's involved. So it's a lot more difficult than a lot of people think. We just don't get a tip and then run it. You know, so I'm 99% sure. I've already authenticated it way more than CNN ever would. But we have to be better than CNN, right? Because CNN, they now have the reputation for being fake news. So when it comes to the work that we do and the kind of stories that I break, I can't end up like CNN, you know, spreading some kind of fake story. That's their job. Their job is to be fake news. So in between break, I'm, you know, texting people, calling people. You can probably tell my energy is a little bit different. I'm a little more intense just by virtue of adrenaline. You know, when you have a big story like this, your heart races, you get a huge rush with adrenaline, and you get all this extra energy. Your body goes into kind of fight or flight mode. And my body does not know flight mode. My body only knows fight mode. So right now I'm in fight mode and tracking things down, and my pupils are dilated, everything, you know. You got to love it. There's no other rush like this. So I think today, you know, we've talked a lot about fake news. We've shown how unhinged CNN's contributors are. We've really done some good work on the fake news media. But there's a lot of other stuff that's kind of been going on. There's a special report actually on Barack Obama calling Trump Hitler and what that can lead to, and comparing him to Hitler and everything like that. So I think we're going to lead in with that special report. And once that's over, I'll kind of comment to you and tell you why this is a really dishonest thing that they're doing, but also why this is a very dangerous thing they're doing.
Ironically, the slave trade continues in Libya as a direct result of the policies of America's first black president, Barack Obama. CNN released a video documenting human rights violations in Libya, revealing a Libyan slave trade where migrants are sold for, on average, from $200 to $400 in slave auctions. And now on Capitol Hill, after the smoke is cleared, all anyone can do is shrug their shoulders.
There's some very interesting and positive developments in North Africa with respect to international cooperation, because this is a part of the world where the impact of the terrorism, of the migration flows, of the smuggling is felt very keenly by Europe.
Ali is from Sudan. 3 years ago, he fled by foot and by bus to Libya. Though it has a UN-recognized government, since the fall of Muammar Gaddafi in 2011, Libya has become a failed state divided by rival militias. Like many other migrants, Ali was arrested and detained for 7 months by a militia that demanded money for his release.
If you pay, they will release you. If you don't, they will start beating you.
I've done deep research on Africa. I've done deep research on the all-encompassing geopolitical tectonic shifts that have taken place in the last few centuries. And undoubtedly, there is a global proxy war going on in Asia, the Middle East, Central Asia, of course, Eastern Europe, Africa, Latin America. There are mercenaries, the bankers call them jackals, all over the world assassinating and killing people 24/7 that won't give in to the big 6 mega banks and their fractional reserve banking derivatives fraud machine. And it's very frustrating to see the 5% of people, and that's about what they were, on the videos I shot over the weekend that have had together over 1 million views on YouTube alone, where I point out that an Africa-wide invasion is ongoing and that massive escalations in it is imminent. And I laid out in those videos exactly what would happen, exactly what would be pushed, and I called Angelina Jolie out as a war criminal who should be arrested. The problem is the UN does that war criminal arresting, and they are the biggest war criminals.
Alan J. Cooperman, associate professor at the University of Texas at Austin, told Newsweek, when you break a state and then don't stick around to rebuild it, you create a failed state. I'm not sure the worst thing going on in Libya is the slave trade. The professor, who has written several papers on Libya, said, the devastation in North Africa, courtesy of President Obama and Hillary Clinton, isn't just going to fix itself, as was abundantly clear on Capitol Hill, but Obama won't let up, now comparing President Trump to Hitler, when in reality, North Africa hasn't seen devastation on par with Obama's since Hitler's Desert Fox Erwin Rommel was dispatched to North Africa in 1941. And from the ashes, the work is left to the American people to tackle the highest human trafficking numbers the world has ever seen. John Bound reporting for INFOWARS.com.
As you can see, we really have to just be honest with what is really going on here. Remember when Hillary Clinton said, we came, we saw, he died, and then Gaddafi was sodomized with the bayonet? Actually, a lot of people don't know that detail of the story because it was fabricated, which, by the way, makes us very, very at risk with all these other countries, because Gaddafi did the right thing and disarmed. He disarmed and said, okay, you can have my big, high-powered weapons of mass destruction. They promised them that he would be safe. Then they sponsored a coup, and then at the end of the coup, he was murdered in the most humiliating way possible. Hillary Clinton, the sociopath, said, we came, he saw, he died. Well, now because of that, Iran, North Korea, none of these powers that have major weapons and chemical weapons, they'll never trust us again because of what happened to Gaddafi. And then because of what happened to Gaddafi under, again, Barack Obama and Hillary Rodham Clinton, there are now open-air slave markets in Libya. By the way, who sent the government to harass journalists? Who sent the government to audit political enemies? Well, Barack Obama did. That sounds like fascism to me. So you can find that Barack Obama, even those fake fact-checking websites, they couldn't spin this. And as you know, they'll spin facts on their head. Barack Obama prosecuted more journalists under the Espionage Act than any other president combined. Every other president combined. Fact. Barack Obama tried to silence journalists, not with a rude tweet, not with a snide comment, which whatever is free speech. Obama's legacy is a historic war on whistleblowers. He was the least transparent president in American history. He prosecuted journalists. He spied on Associated Press reporters. He spied on Jeremy Rosen. They went through all of his records, his family's emails, his family's phone calls. They completely spied on the guy. That sounds to me like a war on the free press. Funny, though, that you don't hear mainstream journalists who complain about Trump's tweets bring up the fact. I don't know about the rest of you at home. Let's just do an experiment. You can have Trump say, you're a very dumb person on Twitter, or you can have the entire weight of the federal government go through every area of your family's lives and criminally prosecute you on fabricated charges. There's your choice. Trump can say you can get a mean tweet, or you can go to prison on trumped up charges. I don't know about those of you at home, but to me, you can tweet about me every day. If you're the president and you want to tweet little barbs at me every day, go right ahead. Obama didn't just tweet or criticize. He was very suave. Oh, how you doing? Come watch me. Have you seen my new jeans? I don't know if you guys remember seeing the video where he's showing off his new jeans to the media people and he's spinning all around and they're looking at his butt and crotch and, oh, look at how cute I am. I'm Barack Obama. So suave in your face. But then when the lights go off, the doors close, he's prosecuting journalists for prison. And then he's sending his IRS director, Loris Lerner, out there to commit tax fraud. You're the IRS. You're supposed to go after tax frauds. The IRS committed tax fraud against patriots and their political enemies. So if you want to talk about fascism, you want to talk about Hitler, you want to talk about who our real Hitler is. The real Hitler is Barack Obama. He prosecuted journalists. He prosecuted political enemies. Hillary Clinton would have been an even worse Hitler. That's the truth. You're always going to get the truth from me, Mike Cernovich. Find me at facebook.com/Mike Cernovich, and I'll talk to you all soon.